directly from the fishermen to assure premium quality. Anthony's is Northwest owned and dedicated to providing the ultimate dining experience. From the icy waters of Alaska, Copper River Salmon has arrived at Anthony's. Join us now for our Copper River Salmon celebration. Treat yourself to Copper River Salmon tonight. Enjoy this seasonal delicacy at Anthony's waterfront locations throughout the Northwest.
Eric Bedard returns to action as the Mariners and Angels face off in this series finale. Tonight at 6:30 on FSN and FSN HD.
Emmy Award-winning sports science returns. The greatest athletes. The most outrageous experiments. Busting the biggest sports myths. And blowing your mind. Sports Science, Sundays.
Eric Bedard returns to action as the Mariners and Angels face off in this series finale. Tonight at 6:30 on FSN and FSN HD.
If you are a fan of courage, if you admire determination, if you are impressed by grace under pressure, and can't help but share in the joy of victory, then you are already a fan of Special Olympics. Make it official. Volunteer, coach, or compete. And be a fan of dignity, acceptance, and the human race. Special Olympics. Be a fan.
Here's the throw to play. It is! In time, he got him!
Tonight, this is FSN.
These are American track and field's most hallowed grounds. Legends are not only born, they are nurtured, developed, and revered. They have names like Bowerman, Salazar, and Prefontaine. And today enter the men and women of the Pac-10. Together, the student athletes of this conference have won more than 50 national NCAA team championships and more than 400 individual crowns. In the field events, Pac-10 teams have been particularly dominant. Last year, they won 7 of 8 NCAA titles. The scene is set for history. The nation's best track and field conference is set to compete at the home of track and field's greatest legends. Welcome to Eugene, Oregon, and historic Hayward Field. This is the 2009 Pac-10 Track and Field Championships, presented by 76 Gasoline.
We come now to the women's 4x100, our first race of the afternoon, and Tom, seems to be a race between two teams here.
It really does, Barry. Out in lane number 3, USC, and lane number 4, Arizona State. And traditionally, these have been the powers in the Pac-10. Now, leading off for USC is Shalina Clark. Shalina is going to be running 4 events today, the 2 relays, the 200 meters, and the 100-meter hurdles. And it's going to be critical for USC's team battle. Now, on Arizona State, the anchor leg will be Sharonda Williams. She is the prohibitive favorite to win the 100 and 200 meters for the 2nd year in a row in this meet, Barry. One other thing I would point out is in lane 1, Oregon, in the team battle, being so important, Oregon is going to run Amber Purvis, who had been wearing a boot on her foot for a bad toe. She's going to run the 2nd leg.
Roth, the women's 4x100, and a very good start by Arizona State. Not a great start by Clark. Arizona State with a slight edge as they come to the first pass.
And that's Dominique Malloy of Arizona State. She was 2nd in the Pac-10 200 last year.
Arizona State clearly in command here as they head toward the 3rd pass on the inside Oregon. And Amber Purvis looking very strong right now, making a bit of a move. Arizona State with the first pass.
And Barry, USC also running very, very well on the 3rd leg. That's Shauna Woods, their heptathlete.
Come now to Sharonda Williams for Arizona State on the anchor leg. And it is USC and Arizona State. Arizona State a slight edge over USC. It's going to be Arizona State and Sharonda Williams first across. SC is 2nd. Close for 3rd between UCLA and Oregon.
And Cal had a rough exchange there on their anchor leg to Kim Yan Broom. Cal should have been right there, but they had a really difficult last leg, Dwight.
Well, ASU got out of their blocks extremely well, and that really did establish the race for them. But down the backstretch, Jessica Onyepanuka of USC really did make up the deficit. Here's the first pass that you see at the top of the backstretch. Arizona State clearly passing first, but Jessica Onyepanuka for USC got them back in the race. Here comes the 2nd pass. She has made up most of the deficit as they pass here pretty clean on the passes across the track. And it's all about that 3rd leg running the turn hard and handing it off cleanly to your anchor. And that was the key. Williams just a better sprinter down the home stretch. And it turned out the way it was supposed to be on paper. ASU really, it was their race to lose, and they had to know it. Kept the passes clean and come away with the victory.
And Oregon did get there for 3rd place, and I thought significantly, Amber Purvis, I thought ran a pretty good leg. It's going to be interesting to see what she does from here on. So Arizona State's women doing what they were expected to do, and that is come up with a win in our first event of the day, the women's 4x100. We are just getting started here at Hayward Field, and we are coming back.
We are students striving for academic excellence.
We are athletes competing at the highest level.
We are winners with more national championships than any other conference.
We are the world's future leaders and innovators.
We are the Cardinals,
Cougars,
Bruins,
Wildcats,
Trojans,
Huskies,
Ducks,
Golden Bears,
Beavers,
Sun Devils.
We are the Pac-10 Conference, the Conference of Champions.
You know, it's not all fun and games when you're a mascot. Every year I find myself where the season always ends meets the bills never stop. You know that place where you realize even a squirrel can't live off peanuts? Well, maybe you don't, but believe me, I'm there.
Here's a way to score on savings.
Nice.
Switch your car insurance to State Farm. You'll save big, plus get a payment plan that fits your budget. Call, click, or visit and start saving today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You know I wear this everywhere.
Go out for a night off the town. Check out the Bass Pro Shops Go Outdoors event for great deals on great gear and save thousands on a new boat during the Steal of a Deal boat sale.
What's your pit type? Sweaty? Hairy? Sensitive? Introducing the first line of customized protection, New Speed Stick Pro. What's your pit type?
Hey, welcome you back to Hayward Field. We're on the campus of the University of Oregon here in Eugene. These are the Pac-10 Conference Track and Field Championships presented by 76. Barry Tompkins along with Tom Fuhrer and, of course, Dwight Stones. And, Dwight, I feel like I'm redundant when I say this, but once again, the Pac-10 Conference amongst the nation's elite.
Well, Barry, you'd have to say back in the halcyon days of Arkansas and LSU that it was probably the Southeastern Conference. But in the last several seasons, the Pac-10 has has really been dominant. Of the 10 women's programs, 9 men's programs in the Pac-10, they are 7th. They've placed 7 and 6 teams in the top 25, respectively. That's just too much depth to be overcome by anybody else. And, of course, University of Oregon on the men's side, I expect them to win it all, certainly on the men's side.
All right, Tom, and of course, where there are great teams, there are great athletes, and some of the best athletes that we're going to be watching are going to be wearing the home green and gold.
I'll tell you what, Barry, none more exciting than Galen Rupp. He was the highest finishing non-African at the Olympics in 10,000 meters last summer in Beijing. He's hot off an unprecedented triple at the NCAA indoors, 3,000 meters, 5,000 meters, and then a 357.07 anchor leg on the distance medley relay. His range of distances, his charisma, and Eugene's love of the sport have combined to make him a once-in-a-generation superstar. But amazingly enough, the Ducks have another middle distance marvel. His name, Andrew Wheating. In the most memorable single race ever run here at historic Hayward Field, Wheating's kick in the 800 garnered him a place to join Rupp on the Olympic team. Today, Rupp, Wheating, and Super South Matt Centrowitz, all from the University of Oregon, will vie in the most anticipated event in this meet, the men's 1,500 meters.
And you know, even despite the greatness of these athletes that you're talking about, it pales in terms of historical significance to the venue itself. With more on that, here's the third member of our broadcast team, Lindsay Soto. Lindsay.
Well, Barry, not that Rupp or Wheating seem to need any kind of advantage. They will have a pretty big one here today in that they will be running here in front of their own fans who, quite frankly, are unlike any other track fans you will find in this country. Over 5,000 people showed up yesterday for the first day of competition. Over 4,000 stuck around to watch the 10,000-meter races. As for the facility itself, historic Hayward Field is often referred to as the Carnegie Hall of track and field. It's essentially where Nike started. It is where Steve Prefontaine became a household name, and it is where several of the top events in U.S. track and field will take place over the course of the next several years. You probably know U.S. Olympic trials took place here last summer, but in a couple of weeks, the Western Regionals for NC2A Championships will be right here. In July, trials for Worlds will be here. The NC2A Championships will be here next year, and the Olympic trials will be back in Eugene again in 2012. There's a reason that they call Eugene Tracktown, USA, Barry.
All right, and now Hayward Field plays host to our second running event of the day. It is the men's 4x100, and Tom, it seems the Southern California schools here are dominating just a little bit.
It does. In lane number 5, we have USC, and running the second leg, and one to really watch is Ahmad Rashad, who was the Pac-10 100 and 200 champion 2 years ago, but got injured and could not compete last year. And then next to them on the inside, lane 4, UCLA. They actually passed the baton very, very well, and they will be anchoring with Brandon Smith, probably one of their weaker runners on anchor. So UCLA must have the lead in the final exchange in order to win this race.
Significantly, too, I think that Washington State might have been competitive in this race. Dropped the baton in their heat yesterday. They are not in this final.
Without a doubt, Barry. And also one other point, Jordan Bowes will not be running on Washington's 4x1 relay. Saving himself for the 2, the 4, and the 4x4.
At the marks.
They held him at set a long time, and I could see, Barry, that Jamal Alston's leg twitched a little bit there. Of course, one false start, and you're out in NCAA competition.
UCLA, they did get a great first leg. Very even pass between SC and UCLA. Big move now in the second leg by SC.
That's Ahmad Rashad, and look at him fly with those long strides.
Come to the third pass right now. Very even pass. Arizona State running pretty well, too, but it's USC, Arizona State, UCLA as they come to the final pass.
Joey Hughes from USC, a very nice curve. He's the freshman.
Come to the final leg, UCLA and USC coming hard as USC. Are they going to be able to catch Smith? I don't think so. UCLA is going to win at SC second. Arizona State finishes third.
What a reaction from Brandon Smith when he crossed the finish line. Boy, there's not going to be much of a happier runner at this meet today. 39.77 for UCLA. Wow, and their exchanges were just a thing of beauty. Dwight, I wish the U.S. 4x1 teams could pass the way UCLA passed today.
I was talking to Tony Vini before the meet. He said, you know, I mixed up the order, and I think we've got a good chance. It was 39.99 qualifying easy. If we just make the passes, we can win this race. And it was like Nostradamus. They did exactly what they needed to. And you're right, Tom. If the U.S. team passes like that, they win the silver medal at least at the Olympic Games in Beijing. Very clean. They weren't that aggressive, but they did They did collapse the zone as best they could. They did not pass late in the zone. And then Brandon Smith, knowing that he was up against a great runner on his outside, just took off with it like someone was chasing him, trying to stab him, and didn't give up anything. In fact, even extended the lead a little bit. That's a great start-off event for UCLA.
Here's the finish, and you can see Smith kept that distance all the way. And I think Nostradamus' relay team did about 41.7. I don't think they did any better than that. Let's go to Lindsay Soto.
Brandon Smith, quite a reaction as you passed the finish line there.
Yeah, it was a great run. My guys put me in a great spot. All I had to do was hold them off, and we got the win.
Individually speaking, some of the guys that you guys were running against get a little bit more attention than you guys do. What does it mean to beat them rather, as a team?
It's largely an individual sport, but you know, when you get on the relay, it's a team thing, and you can't do it without all the other guys, and they did great.
Brandon, congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, we'll jump off the track. Lots to come here. We're just getting started in the Pac-10 Track and Field Championships. Don't go away.
At Anthony's, we're committed to fresh fish. We buy directly from the fishermen to assure premium quality. Anthony's is Northwest owned and dedicated to providing the ultimate dining experience. From the icy waters of Alaska, Copper River Salmon has arrived at Anthony's. Join us now for our Copper River Salmon celebration. Treat yourself to Copper River Salmon tonight. Enjoy this seasonal delicacy at Anthony's waterfront locations throughout the Northwest.
It's the best damn sports show, period. We've got the superstar guest.
You know the tickle, man.
Countless countdowns.
Send it is, you're wrong. Loaded in it.
The unbelievable moments. You never know what you're going to get.
I'm a man. I'm 40. Knock it off.
The party continues every night. It's the best damn sports show, period. Tonight, check local listings.
Drives one to right field. It's gone, and the Mariners have taken a lead. Ichiro with his second consecutive home run.
This Mariners Shot of the Week is brought to you by BK Burger Shots. Available for a limited time only. Before the game.
You know, we're excited about it.
Are we looking at another quick one tonight?
After the game.
So much to get to.
Well, we came out swinging, that's for sure.
Every game. Mariners Live on FSN.
The Pac-10 Track and Field Championships are presented by 76 Gasoline. 76. Get the spirit. And we welcome you back to Hayward Field here. And we haven't even talked about what a day this is here in Eugene. Absolutely gorgeous Chamber of Commerce weather. Here's where we stand in the women's events after 8 of 21 events. Oregon with the lead over Stanford. Pretty close, though. Stanford had a pretty good first day with USC, Arizona, Washington, Arizona State all kind of bunched in that same area right there. So still a contest amongst the women.
Without a doubt, Barry, Oregon probably lost a couple points yesterday, and Stanford picked it up. This is Katie Follett, the pride of the pack, and we always like to thank our sponsor, State Farm, has done a wonderful job with the Pac-10. She is an academic All-America honorable mention, and she is also our defending champion, and what a great job Greg Metcalf, the coach at the University of Washington, has done with these middle and long distance runners.
This should be a very competitive race. As you mentioned, Follett is the defending champion, but alongside is going to be Lawrence Centrowitz of Stanford, and you got to give her a reasonable chance here.
I think she's going to win it, Barry. She was second in the Pac-10 at the 1500 the last 2 years, but she has really made a significant upgrade this year. She ran 4:10.42 2 weeks ago, which is the third fastest time in the NCAA this year. And of course, we will see her brother Matthew Centrowitz Jr. in the next race. So we're on the verge of maybe having a great Centrowitz family celebration here. Now, this is an awesome field. Nicole Blood of Oregon is another one to watch. Alex Kosinski of Oregon, who 2 years ago held briefly the national high school record for 1,500 meters. Kylie Campbell of UW, who is attempting an 8:1500 double here. And then a question I get asked a lot, Irene Legat. She is indeed the sister of Bernard Legat and Robert Cheserette. Cheserette, of course, one of the most decorated champions in the Pac-10.
So competitive race here in the women's 1500. You look for a tactical race, I assume?
Yeah, you know, you mentioned, Barry, the weather. It's a little windy down there. It's very, very warm. There's some people that are going to be doubling back, but Centrowitz looked so good in the prelims yesterday that I think anybody's playing with fire if they don't go out. And as I say, Metcalf of Washington is such a great coach. The University of Washington cross-country team won the NCAA championships this year, and they won the Pac-10 championships going 1 through 6 in Springfield, Oregon, right in Oregon's home turf. And you can see Katie Follett is doing what she did yesterday, which is controlling the race from the front. And ironically, Barry, when she won the Pac-10 1500 last year, her coach Metcalf said, don't go until 60 meters to go, and that's exactly where she went. And she caught us all by surprise. And Lauren Centrowitz tucking into third behind Campbell and Follett.
So very comfortable pace here as we just get started in the women's 1500. Follett running on the pace right now, but the pack, as you can see, still very bunched, and we do expect a tactical race. They come by the stands for the first time, and what a crowd this is at Oregon. I mean, if an athlete is ever going to get great fan support, they're going to get it here.
Without a doubt, and through 300 meters, 54 seconds, so it's a rather pedestrian pace. Number 4 on her hip is Alex Kosinski, and she is also going to an attempt in 800, 1500 double today. And with this quality of a field, you're probably not going to see much of a break until the last, maybe 300 or 400 meters. Lauren Centrowitz now in second to last place, but she looks very, very comfortable in that position.
And still only about 10 yards separating first to last here as we're in the second lap of this 1500.
And Alicia Falmer of Stanford, that's her on the inside in third. And of course, what you have to worry about a little bit in a race like this with 12 competitors is that there might be a little pushing and shoving going on. And at some point, the favorites in this race want to make sure that they don't get boxed in and have a way to move around.
So the two favorites that you talked about, Follett still running on the pace.
And Campbell on her shoulder. Campbell's probably one of the most improved runners in the Pac-10 this year. She's come out of almost nowhere, not heavily recruited whatsoever, and she's really done a marvelous job. She did an 800, 1500 double in the UW Washington State dual meet with about an hour in between, so she is very, very fit.
And Follett still will lead the pack into the third lap here.
Lisa Igami, I'm sorry, Barry, from Washington State is on the outside, not expected to provide much of a challenge, but she's looking for a little bit of running room here.
And Kosinski still running second from last. And should point out, Alex Kosinski, who has been running comfortably on the outside in fourth position right now, did have the fastest qualifying time and did beat Follett in her heat yesterday.
She's a first-class runner. It just depends, again, when somebody's going to make a move. That last lap was 1:14.30, so they're really walking here, Barry.
Picking up the pace a little bit now. Follett still on the inside, and that is Campbell outside of her first and second, respectively. Igami still in third place right now.
And Irene Legat just got knocked back a little bit as she was trying to move up. She got pushed back, and in the blue, that's Shannon Murakami from Saugus High School running for UCLA in second to last place as well. It's a very, very bunched up field, and you can really see that now they're going quite a bit abreast of one another, gearing themselves up for what should be a fireworks-filled last lap, and moving a little bit on the outside now is Lauren Centrowitz. I think she's probably had enough of this pedestrian pace and really wants to get going.
Yeah, and staying out of harm's way right now. She's running about 3 wide, stands at the moment in fourth position. So it's Follett, Campbell, Igami, and Igami's going to take the lead into this turn.
3:25 with a lap to go. I'm expecting probably close to a 60 or 61 second last lap. And you can see Follett moving her arms on the inside and Campbell on the outside, but Centrowitz looks so easy there.
Yeah, very comfortable right now. Igami's still the leader, but she just got eaten up right now by Follett on the inside, Campbell on the outside.
And everybody's in a full long sprint. Lauren Centrowitz on the outside, still currently in about fourth, but again, I think she's well positioned here to win this race on a kick. Follett and Campbell, and now look at Alicia Falmer is moving up from Stanford.
And there was a little interaction there, and somebody got knocked backwards.
It looks like Centrowitz was the one that got knocked backwards.
I think it was. So here we come into the final turn now. It is Follett. Falmer running alongside her.
Alex Kosinski moving up. Centrowitz is out of it.
And here comes Follett. Going to be very close. Follett has maintained the lead all the way. Is she going to be able to guts it out? She comes to the finish line. Yes, she will finish ahead of Fulmer. Kaczynski finishes in third place, and Nicole Blood makes a big move down the stretch to finish fourth. A good race for the Oregon Ducks.
Unbelievable finish there. And Katie Follett, what a competitor she is. You know, she won this race last year, and look at this at the finish. That's 0.04 of a second, Barry. 0.04 of a second separating Follett, second consecutive Pac-10 title. You can see Follett on the inside, really driving with those arms. Fulmer in the middle. Centrowitz got knocked back, as you said, Barry, and really gave up the run here in the home stretch. Look at the determined face on Follett there, and just by the most narrow of margins. And Washington wins their third event here in the middle distances. They won the steeple, they won the 10,000, and now they've won the 1,500.
Thank you very
Greg
much.
Metcalf's crew has done a marvelous job peaking for this meet.
Yeah, very impressive win, I thought, for Katie Follett. She led every step of the race and just had enough. Let's turn our attention to the men's team scores after 9 events, and Oregon absolutely dominant right now.
Not a surprise, Barry. You know, Oregon is going for their third consecutive Pac-10 title, and it looks like they're well on their way on their home track. And, of course, we are ready for the 1,500, the most anticipated event, and this is about the maturation of Galen Rupp. Let's call this the continuing education of Galen Rupp. His first forays into the Pac-10 track and field championships were met with disappointment. 2005, fourth in the 5,000. 2006, third in the 5,000. 2006, second in the 10,000, losing to Robert Cheserette every single time. But in 2007, he came back with a vengeance, and he won both the 5,000 and 10,000 meters. The difference? His ability to kick at the end. In both races, he beat Obed Mutanya of Arizona, and it was the next step in Galen Rupp's development as a premier distance runner. And you can see down the stretch here at Cobb Track and Angel Field just what a margin of victory he had. He made it look easy. Next up, the NCAA Cross Country Championships last fall at Terre Haute, Indiana, going up against Samuel Chalenga, a Kenyan from Liberty University. Just a few weeks ago, in fact, Chalenga broke Rupp's collegiate record at 10,000 meters. But look at Galen, so smooth. Has anybody looked ever so good running the last meters of a 10,000 meter cross country race? He waited, he was confident, and he nailed Chalenga down the stretch. So now, because he's got that speed, coaches Alberto Salazar and Vin Lanana says, why not run him in the 1,500 meters? Yesterday, looking as relaxed as if he was out on a training run. Look at the strain on every other runner's face. But yet Rupp qualifies easily for today's 1,500 meter final, which will be a highlight with Andrew Wheating and Maddie Centrowitz. And then last night, the Hayward Field faithful, 5,000 strong, waited to see him run the 10,000 meters. There were 5 Oregon runners in the race, and Rupp's purpose was to make sure that all of them finished in the top 8 for scoring purposes. And it was a successful venture for the Ducks. Luke Pesquedra, a super freshman, took the lead at one point. The Mercado brothers took the lead at one point. Shadrack Kipke-Biwott took the lead at one point. And then on the inside, you can see Chris Derrick, who broke Rupp's American junior record for 5,000 meters. He made a slight move, and then it was off to the races for Galen Rupp. He ran the last lap, looking around, making it seem so easy in 54 seconds. Yes, 54 seconds for the last lap of that 10,000 meters. So what is it that has changed in Galen Rupp since Beijing?
I think being there and being with the best in the world, kind of made me realize that, you're not a kid anymore, and you can't just be going into races and being that underdog, being so much younger than anybody. You really don't have any excuses anymore.
And there is a look at Galen Rupp. He has had about, 18 hours to recruit from that 10,000.
I'll tell you what, Barry, it seemed like both the 10,000 and the 1,500 were races that did not take a lot out of them, but this one sure will with the quality of the field. This field is about as good as an NCAA championship, and I would predict that at least half of these runners will make the NCAA final. In fact, Michael Coe of Cal, who ran 3:56 earlier this year for Cal's school record, nobody even talks about him as being a potential winner here.
Yeah, the race of the day. And again, we talk about tactics. Certainly this will be that kind of race, Greg.
Well, yeah, unlike the women's race, it's already starting to spread out a little bit. But when you've got guys that are doubling back and running multiple races in the Pac-10 meet, when these are guys who are going to vie to make the World Championship team in this very venue in another 6 or 7 weeks, it's a tough assignment. Also, with it as warm as it is as well. But when you're at home and you're Oregon and you're expected not only to win this conference meet but also win the NCAAs as you did indoors, when you're a young kid, this is what you live for.
And Jordan McNamara is taking the pace out. This is going to be a great battle, one we'll never see again in all likelihood, between the 3 middle distance superstars of Oregon. Matt Centrowitz, whose sister did not have a great run in just moments ago, and Andrew Wheating, both of whom, Wheating, of course, made the Olympic team. We'll talk more about him in the setup to the 800. But Wheating is probably the favorite. If this race goes as slow as it's going right now, it's setting up for an Andrew Wheating race. Now, also, Matt Centrowitz has run 3:36 and change in the 1,500. Only 2 Oregonians faster. Olympic 800-meter champion Joachim Cruz and Centrowitz's dad, Matt Centrowitz, who can't be here today because the team that he coaches, American, has their own conference meet.
Everybody else in his family is here, though, and running.
And speaking of families, Barry, we cannot rule out Elliott and Garrett Heath of Stanford, 2 very classy middle distance runners. And the Heath brothers are very, very solid tactical runners. And now Wheating actually moving up on the outside with Rupp. And there's been a lot of trash talking, well, maybe not trash talking, but a lot of fun being had by Rupp, Wheating, and Centrowitz all week long to see which one of these Oregonians is going to come out better than the other 2. And it's bunching up right now, really setting up for Wheating's kick.
It's bunching up purposely by the Oregon guys. They've got a wall in the front there through that turn with Rupp, Centrowitz, and McNamara. They're not letting anybody by.
They're not, and it was 2:13 for 800 meters, so devastatingly slow pace. They are literally walking out there, similar to the women who ran only 4:26. Between the heat and the wind a little bit, I think that's playing havoc with perhaps trying to speed it up. But you can see Rupp. One thing you should watch on Rupp is what I'd mentioned before about Brooks Johnson. Brooks Johnson, there he goes to the inside to make a little bit of room for himself. Brooks Johnson has taught him how to run with his hands, not with his arms. He's driving with those hands, and you can see it right now.
Let's remember that Garrett Heath is also the defending champion in this particular race. He's not going to just give it up.
No, he is right there. In second place, running behind Rupp and stride for stride.
And Wheating's trying to get out of trouble here, and he is well back.
Now, we've seen Wheating move, though, before. He can eat up all of that in this backstretch if that's what he wants to do.
And it's shaping up what we expected. Rupp and Centrowitz, 1-2. Now Maddie Centrowitz moving outside on Galen Rupp. Wheating out in lane number 2.
And Heath passing Rupp right now. So now it's Heath running in second place. Centrowitz on the lead. Heath second. Rupp running third. Rupp not picking anything up right at the moment.
And here comes Andrew Wheating. We'll see if he can do what he did at the Olympic trials in the 800 last year. This is everything we expected this race to be, Barry.
And right now it is Centrowitz and Heath, and it's Centrowitz on the lead on the rail. Here comes Rupp again. Rupp passes Centrowitz. It is going to be Wheating, Rupp, and getting there
Oregon
for third
sweep.
place. Centrowitz, Rupp, and Wheating.
Good God almighty, what a race. Unbelievable. Oregon goes 1, 2, 3, and you can see Galen, the whole crew saluting the crowd.
What a tremendous finish. Wheating was there, then he wasn't there, then he was there, and at the end when it was important, he jumped up and picked up third place.
Let's go. Last 200, 26-1. 26-1 for the last 200, and Maddie Centrowitz maybe taking inspiration from his sister who didn't do so well in the last race. What a marvelously timed performance, and this young man is going to probably ultimately maybe be as good as his father.
Absolutely impressive race, and a race exactly as the Oregon Ducks would have wanted it drawn up. They've talked about it, and Centrowitz and Rupp are both going to take a victory lap here. And there was the finish, and you could see Heath was right in it all the way too, and you got to give it up for him. But an Oregon sweep in the men's 1500, a race that was exactly as advertised.
At U.S. Bank, we support athletics, the arts, and anyone with a dream. Support that's not just about money. It's about investing our time and our care to make the most of the places we call home. That's the power of U.S. Bank. 5-star service guaranteed.
A story of brotherly love, of beer. 1978, home brewing is legalized. 1983, tired of working for the man, the Widmer brothers quit their jobs and cobbled together a brewery. Today, every batch of Widmer remains true to their goal, to brew beer people love as much as they do. Widmer Hefeweizen, the cloudy beer served with a lemon.
We welcome you back to Hayward Field. We're here on the campus of the University of Oregon in Eugene. These are the 2009 men's and women's track and field championships presented by 76. And look what the Oregon Ducks are doing before the home fans.
It's a wipeout.
114-55, the battle clearly for second place. And of course, as you saw a moment ago, a sweep in the 1500. We turn our attention now to the women's 100-meter hurdles. And again, a competitive race here. Kim-Yon Broom, I guess you'd have to look at as the favorite.
She has really developed nicely, Barry, since she ran at high school in California. She's the defending champion. She ran 13:03 wind-aided in the heats yesterday. She's very, very ready to go.
And she, of course, from California. That's who we just spoke of, Kim-Yon Brown.
And also, Barry, just one other thing. The Cal had a real disaster on the 4x100-meter relay. So this is going to be an opportunity for the fans here at Hayward Field to see what Kim-Yon Broom can really do.
So we'll see. And Nia Ali, alongside her, has had some quad problems, and so probably not quite 100%, although she was very competitive yesterday.
Yeah, and Shalina Clark is kind of the premier USC hurdler, and there are 3 of them in this race. And this is an opportunity for the Trojans to get in the team battle, and still quite a bit open. It's not Oregon's yet. And Shalina Clark, a very classy hurdler, 3rd in the Pac-10s last year. She was the reigning 400-meter hurdle champion. She will not run that event in this meet, nor will Nicole Leach. But Clark is pinning her hopes on the 100-meter hurdles, the 200, and both relays.
So here are the lane assignments. Marshall, Arizona, lane 1. Price of UCLA in lane 2. Ali, USC, lane 3. Shalina Clark is in lane 5. So the two of the 3 USC runners surrounding Broom. Then it's Lindsay Rowe, UCLA, Dalila Muhammad, the other USC runner, lane 7, and Jasmine Chaney of Arizona State. We're underway. Fair start. Very good start by Broom. Broom in a slight lead. It is Broom of California. Going to be very close the rest of the way. Broom is the leader. Alongside her, Clark second. Broom, Clark, close for 3rd, but I believe it was Ali who got there.
Wire-to-wire victory for Broom, the defending champion, just a junior. But right from the gun, she was first at the first hurdle, never looked around, never looked back, barely touched a hurdle the entire race. Awfully tough to beat someone who runs that run that way, 13.02. So a season best for her, just at the right time. She's getting ready for the regionals in the NCAA meet.
Got out very well, and as you said, just ran about a perfect race. Kim-Yon Broom of California. And that'll look.
Clark on her right, but you watch, she was first over the first hurdle, and it was all over from there. All she did was extend her lead. I don't believe she may have just touched one hurdle with her trail leg, but stays down nicely, very quick between hurdles. Textbook hurdling for the junior from Cal.
An impressive win, an impressive time, and bigger things ahead without question for her.
Driving very hard off the last hurdle, an outstanding race from top to bottom.
And you were talking about just perfect form, even over that last hurdle when you start to get a little bit tired.
And you never know in this race if someone's coming off the last hurdle, so she drives as she's supposed to. Very good coaching right there.
Officially, Kim-Yeon Broom in 13.02. Shalina Clark second, 13.19. And Nia Ali of USC, 13.52. Well, we had a big moment just a little bit ago with the sweep of the Oregon Ducks in the 1500. Right now, let's go to Lindsay Soto. Lindsay.
Matt Centrowitz and Galen Rupp waiting to get their awards. Andrew Weeding has gone back to get ready for the 800. So, Matt, congratulations. That's a pretty big win over some pretty big competition. You guys told me you did not discuss your strategies with one another. What was your strategy?
My strategy was, worry about myself, help the team out as much as possible. I wanted to stay up towards the front. I knew it was going to be a tactical, slow 1500, and I think that's what worked out well.
Great opportunity, Galen, for you guys to race against one another for a change.
Oh, yeah, it's great. We had a lot of fun with this. I mean, going in, we're joking around. It's not very often all three of us are going to be in the same race, Coaches usually spread us out a little bit. We'll all run different things. So it's good. It's fun for the fans, I'm sure, to watch it. I mean, and just going, 1, 2, 3 here was definitely all we could ask for. Hopefully it's going to give us some big momentum going into the day today.
Matt, how competitive are you with these two guys? And Jordan, too.
I think we all are competitive, but when it comes to Pac-10 championship, where really just the team matters more, I think we'd all just do what works out better for everyone else. So,
congratulations, an Oregon sweep, 1, 2, 3.
Thanks.
Yeah, very impressive performance, to say the least. A sweep for the Oregon men in the 1500, and they lead the competition big time. Take a look at the women's shot put.
Well, yesterday the shot put took place under ideal conditions. This is Megan Howard of Arizona. She was 4th in the Pac-10s last year, and on her second throw, she hit her best of the day, 50 feet 4 1/2 inches, which was good for 3rd. Then Michaela Wallerstedt, one of the most improved athletes in the conference this year. She gets out to 51 6 1/4 on her first throw and then promptly fouls her next 5. And then meanwhile, as expected, it was the Sarah Stevens show. The senior from Arizona State salted the title away in the first round with 56 6 3/4. She improved in the second round to 56 10 and won her 3rd conference shot title to go along with Pac-10 titles in the discus in 07 and hammer last year. She also broke the conference record in that event for most career points as she went over the century mark with 100.5. She made the USA Worlds team 2 years ago and hopefully again this year.
Men's 110-meter high hurdles, and you can see the meet record set by the great Greg Foster, 13.43. Kevin Craddock was the champion last year from UCLA. And once again, I feel like we're being redundant here, but a very competitive race, at least amongst the top 3.
Without a doubt, it's hard to choose a favorite here. This is Oscar Spurlock of USC, who had a tough freshman year, but has really blossomed this year and comes in with a 13.51, which is the 9th best time collegiately in the event. And then next to him, Miles Bradley of Stanford. And Miles Bradley has really had a breakout year. He had a gap between his patella and kneecap, which had really inhibited his performance over the last couple of years. He finally got it together towards the end of last year, and his coach, Edric Florial, really believes he's ready to go. Spurlock ran 13.51 yesterday in the heats, Bradley 13.75, and then Jordan Paul of Cal kind of sneaks in there. He was 3rd in this event last year, and he could be trouble. And, USC coach Ron Allison said Spurlock, with people on both sides of him, he's such an aggressive runner, could get him into trouble. A little bumping here or there. So that's something to watch out for. Set to go.
Fair start, and a very good start for Bradley. Now Spurlock comes on. It is Spurlock and Paul running well alongside Spurlock. It is Spurlock with Paul. Paul coming up on him. Spurlock and Paul. It's going to be Spurlock, Paul, and Bradley.
And that was one of the uglier technical races for Miles Bradley. He was just never in his rhythm at all, but Jordan Paul really made it a race over the last half. But Oscar Spurlock, who was 6th in this event last year, really came up, continuing a very, very strong season to become Pac-10 champion, 13.56. So ever so slightly slower than he ran yesterday.
So it wasn't a thing of beauty, but he's going to take it.
Well, look at the contrast. On the right, you've got Spurlock, who just refuses to bend at the waist over the hurdles. That's something he'll have to work on. And look at Miles Bradley. He's really struggling on the left side of your screen. You can't see Jordan Paul on the right side of your screen except for his right arm, but he was making the competitive race if he hadn't been chopping timber out there in lane 3. But Oscar Spurlock held everybody off and comes away with a victory.
Sure did. And Bradley literally hit every hurdle, and a couple of them knocked him sideways. Good win for Spurlock, though, and a great finish, and he had to fight off an oncoming Jordan Paul, who finished third in this event last year. Did a little bit better this year to finish second behind the USC sophomore. So Spurlock is the winner of the men's high hurdles. As we said, nothing you might want to put in a time capsule, but he's going to take it. Thank you very much. He is the Pac-10 Conference champion. We're coming back with more right after this.
Go spend a little more time and a little less money. Check out the Bass Pro Shops Go Outdoors event for expert advice and amazing daily specials Friday through Sunday. Your adventure starts here.
You know, it's not all fun and games when you're a mascot. Every year I find myself where the season always ends meets the bills never stop. You know that place where you realize even a squirrel can't live off peanuts? Well, maybe you don't, but believe me, I'm there.
Here's a way to score on savings.
Nice.
Switch your car insurance to State Farm. You'll save big, plus get a payment plan that fits your budget. Call, click, or visit and start saving today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You know I wear this everywhere.
The final score, weeknights.
There's really probably only maybe 10 people in the world that on any given night have beat me in a fight. The other 6 billion people in the world won't stand a chance. Hi, my name is Frank Mir.
Echo Unlimited. Be unlimited.
State Farm is a proud sponsor of the Pac-10 Conference. On behalf of its over 800 agents, including State Farm's Tammy Zomek of Eugene, State Farm would like to wish all the competitors luck in today's championship. Please go to statefarm.com to talk with a State Farm agent in your area. And we welcome you back to Hayward Field here in Eugene, Oregon, historical site, and we have seen some very impressive performances, too, that will long be remembered by this very knowledgeable track crowd. Well, much as we anticipated the men's 1500 today, Tom, we anticipated the men's javelin throw yesterday, and it lived up to expectations.
Well, it was definitely one where there was a lot on the line, and this is the defending champion, Corey White of USC, with the trademark Mohawk. And he was going up against Cyrus Hostetler, who was, and White was second in the NCAAs last year. This is Alex Wolf from Oregon. In round number 2, he got off a seasonal best, 235 feet 5 inches. Now, he moved into second after White took the lead, but we didn't expect that that lead would hold up because it was a pedestrian 248.4. Now, here was Hostetler struggling before the home crowd. And he was throwing into a headwind, which was also a problem. But finally, with a two-step approach on his last throw, he got untrapped. And it was the penultimate throw of the competition, with the crowd urging him on. He consulted his coach, Christina Schwerin, moved his approach back 2 extra steps, and then let it fly. And it landed at 250 feet 5 inches, and for the time being, it led the competition, but Corey White was still to come.
I was having a really rough time with my first 5 throws, and just talking to my coach, Christina, and she said, take your full approach. We've been working on a new approach, getting ready for USA Nationals and everything, and she said, try it out. I mean, we got nothing to lose. You're in second. So just wanted to get the crowd in and get some adrenaline going, and it happened to go pretty well, and I was just biting my nails waiting for that them to read it off, and it said 250, and so I was like, he's got one chance to do it.
So here it goes, Corey White down to the last throw of the competition. His best was on the first one. He let it fly, but the headwind was bothering him all day. All his throws were tracking high and did not throw through the point. And Corey White would have to settle for second place. And while the competition was extremely exciting between Hostetler and White, the performances were somewhat underwhelming. Hostetler throwing 250 feet 5 inches, well below the 272.10 he threw earlier this year. And after 10 of 21 events, this is a very tight battle, and don't count out USC, which is currently in third, because a lot of their points are still to come, Barry.
And in this event, of course, they will look to Elizabeth O'Lear to try to get some points for them as we move to the women's 400-meter dash. And again, a very competitive event. This event was won last year by Keisha Baker of Oregon, who is in this race in lane 3, but the woman to beat in this one, clearly, I think, Nicole Leach.
I'll tell you what, Barry, Nicole Leach has been snake bit in this event. She was second in it in her freshman year, second in her sophomore year, where she lost by 7 thousandths of a second to LaTosha Wallace of Arizona State. This time she wants to take this darn crown. And then to her inside, Elizabeth O'Leary, who had in high school been one of the top prep 100 and 200 meter runners, but because of various injuries, Coach Ron Alice moved her up to the 400, less strain upon her hamstring. Dwight, any others that you like in this field?
No, I think in the middle of the track, Nicole Leach, she's eschewing the 400 hurdles, and she can concentrate on running a strong and smart 400 here. But as you've mentioned, she's had a tough time at the TAC 10 meet, although she's won the 400 hurdles twice.
And Keisha Baker, the defending champion in lane 3, Barry.
And we are underway. Pretty even start. Nobody got a big jump getting off the blocks. Now it looks as though O'Leary coming up on Leach and has made up some of the stagger on Leach, but we're just getting started here in the 400 meters. There goes Leach now making a big move. It is Leach, O'Leary, and it looks like Baker making a bit of a move for Oregon in lane number 3.
O'Leary is a little inexperienced in this event. This is her first year running the 400, so it'll be interesting to see. She went out a little fast, White.
Also, Leach's strength in the 400 hurdles is going to start to show right now.
As it is, and she picks up the lead as they come around the final turn. Still a contest, though. Running on the inside, that is Baker of Oregon. And Baker takes the lead coming around the turn and is stretching it out. Baker looking every bit the part of the defending champion that she is. And she is going to win this race, and she's going to win it for fun. Baker of Oregon. Leach is second. Lacey of UCLA finishes third in an upset.
And Barry, what a monster PR for Keisha Baker. 51.74. Only Jessica Beard of Texas A&M has run faster this year.
Big win for her. She came off that last turn strong.
Well, she was also in a great position. Being in lane 3, she could watch the race develop in front of her between Leach and O'Leary. She made it easy on herself the first 200, and then she ran a monster turn. And O'Leary started running backwards. Nicole Leach realized that the wind that was blowing at her back was Keisha Baker going by her, and there was no way for her to lift up and recover in the home stretch, and Keisha Baker just continued doing so. She just kept driving. She knew she was well in the lead and said, I'm going for the time, and that bodes well for her preparations coming into the regionals in the NCAA. Second best time in the country and looking very strong all the way through the finish.
No question about it. Let's go down to the field right now. Lindsay Soto with the winner. Lindsay.
Who just got a big congratulations from Jamisha Youngblood, another winner from yesterday. So you were a surprise winner in this event last year, and people still didn't expect you to win this year. Nicole Leach getting most of the tension going into this race. So did you feel like you had something to prove to people today?
I've been working really hard. I've been training hard, and Coach Johnson gave me the confidence that I could do it. I got the crowd here. I'm all about trying to win this conference championship. I wanted to do it for the team.
Did your position help that you could kind of watch it play out in front of you?
Yes, definitely. I knew as long as I was right there in the mix with this crowd cheering me on, I knew I could have the energy to kick it in at the end.
How badly do you ladies want to win here at home?
We want to win. We want to win.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, thanks very much, Lindsay. That is a huge win for her, and you can't underestimate the crowd either. Big factor.
Huge home advantage.
And there's the final 3. Baker wins it, Leach second, and Lacey making a good run to finish in third place for UCLA.
400 meters.
Back here at Hayward Field, we have just seen a very exciting women's 400-meter dash, won by a local favorite. Now we turn to the men's 400. The Pac-10 meet record, that of Danny Everett of UCLA back in 1988 at 44.34. Lina Larry of USC was the Pac-10 champion last year. And here's a guy who has been a busy guy for the last couple of weeks.
Well, he has been. He's the Pac-10 decathlon champion, and he also performed very well in the long jump yesterday, finishing second. And rather than run him in the 100 meters, which he ran last year, they've decided to run him in the 400 meters. I guess he's a real glutton for punishment. But this race I'm really excited about, Barry, because Eaton unlikely to finish in the top 3 or 4, but we get to see Jordan Bowes, and Jordan Bowes is really ready to run fast. He's out in lane number 5. Last year he barely lost to Lionel Larry in the 400, and he did a terrific, he looked very terrific in the heats yesterday in both the 200 and 400. And Greg Metcalf has held him back a little bit. If you might remember, last year he ran sub 45 at the Sun Angel meet in early April. Never really hit that stride again. This time they're holding him back, and it will be very interesting to see how he does. And you talk about a competitor, lane number 3, Joshua Anderson, Barry. He's the reigning NCAA champion in the 400-meter hurdles. He's the national high school record holder out of Taft, and one tough competitor. I spoke with Rick Sloan earlier this week, and he said, look, Joshua, I told Joshua, just run for second, but Joshua's not going to lay this one up.
No, I don't think so. Even though he's going to be busy, we'll see him in the hurdles a little bit later. And we didn't even really mention Joey Hughes, who had the fastest qualifying time, and he is sitting between Bose and Joshua Anderson.
He has no fear. He's a freshman, and I've talked to Ron Ellis about Joey Hughes, who did yeoman's work at Long Beach Poly the year after Bryshawn Mellum did yeoman's work at the same high school. Joey Hughes is a runner with a lot of confidence, and it'll be interesting to see how he runs. This is a really great field. We're going to have fun with this one.
So the runners come to their marks here. We're going to mention Nate Anderson of USC, who will start in lane number 2, could be a competitive runner as well. Very competitive race.
I tell you, if Hughes and Bose don't get away from Anderson in the first half of this race, his 400 hurdle strength is going to kick in, and it's going to be very competitive up a finishing stretch.
And we are underway. Bose did get out very quickly. Bose has almost made up the stagger on Eaton as we start here. And it is Bose in the lead. Actually, Eaton out in lane 7 also has had a good start to this race, but it is Bose right now. Anderson lagging a little bit. Bose looks like Hughes. Hughes coming up pretty well, too, as they head into the turn. It's going to be Bose with a very clear lead. Joey Hughes of USC moving up as well.
So is Joshua Anderson, Barry. He looked like he was lagging, but that long stride now that he uses for the hurdles is really starting to eat up some ground.
But it's going to be Bose all by himself as they head into the final straight. It's going to be Bose with Hughes alongside, and it's going to be Eaton running a pretty good race out here in lane 7. It's going to be Bose, Hughes, and Eaton.
Wow. Ashton Eaton, is there no limit to what this guy can do? And Joey Hughes had a monster PR in second, 45.93. Ashton Eaton, 46.34 in third. Joshua Anderson kind of gave up at the end there. Dwight, he let a couple of those guys run right by him.
He was heavy on his feet from the get-go. He's running very heavy, and maybe they're just getting ready for later in the event, later in the season. But Jordan Bose, pardon me, lifting up the home stretch nicely. Joey Hughes, though, as a freshman, had nothing to lose, as Coach Alice had said, and just went after it, ends up second. But Ashton Eaton, I mean, really, what are the limits here with this guy? That's a very strong performance that he's got to, it has to help his decathlon, no doubt. He gets third here in the 400. That certainly wasn't expected.
Yeah, really impressive. One thing that I should point out, though, I did happen to notice Joshua Anderson just before they came to their marks was kind of stretching and playing a little bit with his left hammy. So I don't know if he's got any kind of a problem there or not, but I did notice it just before they started, and he did not run the race that we would have expected of him.
He was really overstriding, Barry. That's the one thing I noticed, almost running it like it was a 400-meter hurdle race, and looked like he made a nice move from 200 to 300, but then all of a sudden just didn't have it.
So here is the finish. You saw Bose with Hughes, and again, very impressive for Eaton. Let's take a look back now on the men's decathlon. Of course, we already know Eaton was the winner of that event, and this guy's just looking for all the world, like a world-class guy in this event.
Yeah, now this is interesting. Jeremy Taiwo just picked up the decathlon. He went to Newport High School in Bellevue, a 4.0 student. Father Joseph was a former Pac-10 triple jump champion. And this is Marshall Ackley of Oregon in the pole vault, and he ended up finishing second. He also had a huge PR. It seems like every single duck that's competed has just done marvelously here. Now, this is a guy that I really think, and Dwight, you may disagree with me, but he seems to be a Brian Clay in the making. He has the strength in the same type of events. He is so, again, the sprints and hurdles are really strong. Maybe the one difference between him and Clay is his javelin is not out there. In this particular competition, he scored 8,091 points. His high jump not as good as Clay.
Yeah, but that's something that you can really work on. And Clay, because of his height, is not going to get much better in the high jump, whereas Eaton probably has a chance to get better. But speed is so essential in the decathlon. We've seen that over and over. Dan O'Brien, Brian Clay, so important.
In the women's heptathlon, once again, University of Oregon topped the charts. This is Breanne Tyson. Yes, it's pronounced Tyson. She's from British Columbia. She's actually from Humboldt in British Columbia. She had a marvelous competition, scored 59.86, which is the top mark in the NCAA this year. Included in that was a 5.10 high jump, and she also ran 13.86 in the hurdles and 24.02 in the 200. She's a big talent, will probably be a contender for the Canadian Olympic team. Now this is Nia Ali, who seems to have been competing all year long with a temperamental quadricep hamstring. She ended up finishing third in 56.81. She also ran a good 100-meter hurdles, as you know, because she was in the open 100-meter hurdles. That's her coach, Dan Lang. She hurdled 13.56. And Kalinda McFadden, the Dutch scored 19 points in both the heptathlon and the decathlon. Dan Steele, the head coach of Oregon, who was the assistant head coach of Oregon, was honored as the indoor coach of the year, and no reason. He's picked it right up, Dwight. 19 points by both the heptathlon and decathlon teams.
Right, you're watching the men's and women's track and field championships in the Pac-10 presented by 76. When we come back, we'll turn to the sprints. Don't go away.
At U.S. Bank, we support athletics, the arts, and anyone with a dream. Support that's not just about money. It's about investing our time and our care to make the most of the places we call home. That's the power of U.S. Bank. 5-star service guaranteed.
Eric Bedard returns to action as the Mariners and Angels face off in this series finale. Tonight at 6:30 on FSN and FSN HD. The Sounders FC look to keep pace in a competitive Western Conference. Ready for battle in this MLS shootout from Colorado. Saturday night at 10:30 on FSN and FSN HD.
The Emmy Award-winning Sports Science returns. The greatest athletes. The most outrageous experiments. Busting the biggest sports myths. And blowing your mind. Sports Science, Sundays.
We welcome you back. Barry Tompkins, Dwight Stones, Tom Fewer, Lindsay Soto. We're at Hayward Field here in Eugene, Oregon. We come now to the women's 100 meters. Gail Devers of UCLA is the Pac-10 record holder at 11:05. Sharonda Williams, who was in this race, is our defending champion, and there she is and looking strong.
Oh, Barry, she looked tremendous in the heats yesterday, and she was a finalist in the NCAA indoors. She is going to be a factor at the NCAA's, Dwight, probably the only non-SEC competitor that will make it in there, but she is just looking superb.
Also double defending Pac-10 champion, 100 and 200, and already looked good anchoring the Sun Devil relay team earlier in the meet.
Arizona State has a slight chance to make an imprint in the women's team battle, which they've won 3 years in a row. Dominique Malloy, who was second in the 200 last year, she is running out of lane number 3. And then Amber Purvis of Oregon out in lane number 8. She ran a lot better than we thought she would in the relay, so she may be someone to be reckoned with.
So Sharonda Williams, the one to beat here. She's in lane 4. Her teammate Dominique Malloy alongside her in lane 3. Cal Sherelle Garrett in lane 5.
One thing about the Purvis, about Amber Purvis, she has 2 sisters, one of whom, Ashton, is probably maybe the second best 100-meter high school runner in the country, and another one who is a hurdler, Julian, at Michigan. And there you see Amber Purvis, that family, the first family of sprinting and hurdling.
Where are they? And it's a good start. And it's a good start for Williams. And Purvis over here in lane 8 running extremely well. Very close race right now. Now it is Williams who takes the lead. It's going to be Williams and Garrett of California second ahead of Malloy of Arizona State.
And clearly Purvis was bothered by her foot because she kind of laid it up over the last few meters.
Yeah, got out very quickly and then just disappeared.
11:14, Barry, for that race, which is really, really good. That puts her right into the hunt for the NCAAs.
Well, Sharonda Williams got a good start, but on her left, her teammate, Dominique Malloy also was in the mix with Purvis on the outside until she just started limping at about 50 meters. It was very close between the two Lady Sun Devils, and then just there at the end, Sherelle Garrett of California ends up taking the second place spot. Look at the big smile on Sharonda Williams' face. She's having a good day here. And of course, great weather for the sprinters, nice and warm. The wind is not enough to disallow any of these good times for them. So we'll see some NCAA qualifying times out of this meet as well. But just pulling up at the tape, no problem here. Garrett getting second, Malloy third.
One note here, Sherelle Garrett got the second place 2 years in a row in this event.
All right, let's go down to Lindsay Soto right now with the winner. Lindsay.
Sharonda Williams with a bigger win than she had over Sherelle Garrett last year. You wanted to build a little bit there, huh? That was a close one last season.
Yeah, last year was a close mark. They couldn't tell, so this year I had to let them know, it's Sharonda Williams, not Sherelle Garrett. With all due respect, Sherelle Garrett is a phenomenal athlete. I just had to make the gap a little bigger so it wouldn't be no confusion this year.
You said that last year when you finished 7th here at Olympic trials that was a turning point. 7th, I'm sorry, in your semifinal heat at Olympic trials, that was a turning point for you. In what way?
Well, it made me become more dedicated and focused on track. At first, it was just like, okay, I'm doing this because I'm talented now. It's just like more dedication, hard work. I'm getting all the right vitamins and nutrition that I need to get. So it was definitely a turning point for me, a huge turning point. It woke me up a lot.
Congratulations. The defending champ wins again.
Thank you.
All right, thank Lindsay. Well, she was fully awake right here. As you can see, the big smile as she comes through the finish line. Williams, Garrett, and Malloy.
Here is your second heat in the men's.
Let's take a look at the scores in the men's competition. And in the standings, it is only Oregon who's standing. Everybody else just kind of sitting. And the battle is indeed for second place, which is held right at the moment by Stanford. UCLA 56 points, Washington 50 points. SC down to 47, but they do make their mark in the event still yet to come. We come now to the men's 100. Ado Bolden of UCLA is the meet record holder, an impressive 9.90. Wapamo Saisai is the defending champion from Stanford at 10.47. But this, again, a competitive field. I keep saying that, but in fact it is, Tom.
If Ahmad Rashad is truly healthy, he will destroy everybody in this race. He was the Pac-10 champion in 07, ran 10:20 and 20:56, both PRs. Coach Alice has talked about his overstriding, and they're trying to keep that to a minimum. And you saw it a little bit on the 4x100 meter relay. His main competition is to his outside, Justin Woods of Washington State. And the Washington State sprinters are always a little bit kind of under the radar because they usually have poor conditions to sprint in. But Justin ran 10:30 yesterday and looked very, very good. He was 4th in the event last year, 3rd the year before. That really should be the matchup. Marcus Duncan from Arizona State in lane 3 could also have a shot at this. But Barry, if Rashad is on, it should be his, and it should be a heck of a lot faster than Wapamo Saisai ran last year.
Yeah, I think so. And he's run very well in his meet so far. Great start by Woods. Woods out very quickly. And it is going to be Woods right now with the lead. It's Woods. Here comes Rashad. It is Rashad with a great finish. Woods finishes second. Extremely close for third. It might have been Marcus Duncan.
10:13, Barry. That is a breakthrough performance by Ahmad Rashad. In fact, he moves into the Pac-10 all-time top 10 list, Dwight.
Justin Woods, that was his race till about 60 meters. He got out great, and as though Ahmad Rashad was reacting to the fact that, hey, he's out there. And then he finally realized, hey, I have a game plan here. I have a race that I need to run. Now you're seeing where Rashad starts to shift into that overdrive and overtakes Woods to his outside. But for about 65 meters, that looked like an upset by Justin Woods. That was a very impressive looking, easy and relaxed run by Ahmad Rashad. He may just be getting to it right when he wants to, which has got to make Ron Alice happy.
Well, and I'll say this, Dwight, it's been quite some time since we've had a great Pac-10 100-meter runner, and right now Rashad is 3rd in the national list behind Jacoby Ford and Trendon Holiday. Look at how smooth he looks right here.
All right, let's go down right now to Lindsay Soto, who is with Ahmad Rashad.
Well, his PR coming into this was 10:26, now a 10:13. That's a big difference. What was it for you today?
I'm not sure. I mean, I just had a really good race today.
You had to pull out of this meet last year because of an injury. How badly did you want to come back and get these titles back?
Well, I wanted to come back and do what I did my freshman year. You know, last year was a big disappointment, but I came in this year and proved that I could do it again.
To be healthy this year, which is kind of a novelty for you, how has that helped from a training standpoint?
Helped me progress throughout the season. Instead of running, you know, trying to get fast time at the end of the season, I could progress from the beginning of the season to the end, you know, and that's how I ran a fast time this season.
Now he comes back and runs against Jordan Bowes for the 200. Congratulations on this win.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, thanks very much, Lindsay. So Ahmad Rashad did not have a great start, still runs a big PR, finishes in 10.13. Justin Wood second at 10.28, and it was Marcus Duncan of Arizona State who got there for third in 10.5.
Let Hertz put you in the driver's seat.
What does it mean to let Hertz put you in the driver's seat today? It means exciting new cars, even green ones. It means we get you, no matter where you are, and getting you through airports faster with online check-in. It means putting more innovations on the road than anyone else.
At Anthony's, we're committed to fresh fish. We buy directly from the fishermen to assure premium quality. Anthony's is Northwest owned and dedicated to providing the ultimate dining experience. From the icy waters of Alaska, Copper River Salmon has arrived at Anthony's. Join us now for our Copper River Salmon celebration. Treat yourself to Copper River Salmon tonight. Enjoy this seasonal delicacy at Anthony's waterfront locations throughout the Northwest.
The Pac-10 Track and Field Championships are presented by 76 Gasoline. 76, get the spirit. Well, we just had the women's 800-meter run, and a bit of a surprise here, guys.
Well, not really. When you have Oregon on their home track, nothing's a surprise. Zoe Buckman from Australia comes through in the clutch down the stretch. She led it almost wire to wire, Barry.
Just as I thought she would. And she wins it at 2:05:39. Krishna Curry of UCLA is second, 2:06:01, and Christine Babcock of UW finishes in third place. Here's where we stand now. In the women in Oregon doing extremely well, much as they are amongst the men, but I'm not even going to say this is a surprise that they lead by as much as they do, but I'll throw it out there anyway.
I think, you know, it's going to be very critical for Stanford in the triple jump, and then in the 5,000, Kate Niehaus collapsed in the 10,000, got back up and finished the 10,000 to finish second. So if she can come back and run the 5,000 decently, it may be a shot for Stanford. Now there is the man, Andrew Wheating of Oregon. He only had a 5-second personal best last year. Now, earlier today in the men's 1,500 meters, watch Wheating. He finishes third, but you know what? This is all about the team, and he raises his hands as if he had, in fact, won the race, and that leads us right back to last year in the most famous race maybe ever held at this Hayward Field track, and that's when Wheating, running for the University of Oregon, way back in 6th place, makes a charge down the stretch that few, if any, have ever seen. Look, he's going out into lane 4 now. Meanwhile, Nick Simmons, also of Eugene, Oregon, is leading, and then you can see Wheating out in lane number 6 as he finishes second, and to make matters even greater, in third place, Christian Smith, 1, 2, 3 for Eugene Oregonians. Andrew Wheating, last year, he gets a 5-second improvement in the 800, a 7-second improvement in the 1,500. And you see how much the Olympics mean to him. He's got the 5 rings, Barry, stitched right on his right shoulder blade. He is truly a unique individual.
No question about it. And he does stand out. He even stands out amongst his competitors here. Tall, lanky. There's the lane assignments. Luke Lemonager of Washington State.
Well, Eric Sekretarski of USC in lane number 4 is the guy who knows how to run if things get bunched up a little bit. Also to his right is Blake Shaw of USC, who's a very impressive freshman. And on the outside is Corey Prim, who took second in this event last year, but only got in, or third in this event last year, but only got in a time qualifier.
And just to reprise that event from last summer, I've been here for a lot of meets in Oregon since 1971 and Prefontaine and everything else. That was the greatest moment I've ever seen on a track of a race in that particular, in this particular arena, that's for certain.
And Wheating right now very comfortable in 7th place. He knows that he has the best finishing speed of anybody in this race. Now the key for Wheating is how much Twite did that 1500 take out of him.
And that's why he's back there, just staying comfortable, staying out of trouble. You see him way out in lane, outside of lane 2, and he's just going to go with whatever he has left.
That's Carey, Sikotarski, and Shaw now moving up into 3rd place. So
there were a few elbows there, Barry. Corey Prim was right in the middle of that. Wheating was able to extract himself for. Now he's going to have to keep an eye on Eric Sikotarski, who's currently in 2nd place and now moving into 1st, because that's the guy that is probably going to win this race if Wheating does not.
And here comes Lemonhager up from Washington State, up to the shoulder of Sikotarski. So it's Sikotarski now and Lemonhager rather.
And why does Wheating always leave it to the end? He gives us a heart attack here.
Doing it again.
And there he goes. So he's now moved into almost 3rd. This guy is making Dave Waddle look like a slow finisher.
And here is going to be the race right now. It is Sikotarski. He's going to be the one to be caught. And Sam coming after him. I don't think Wheating is going to get there. Now Wheating starts to make a move. Making a liar out of me again. And here he comes to the finish line. Close. Wheating got him again.
Barry, that one may be a little bit too close to call. Sikotarski is saying he won,
but the board
and Wheating got it by 0.02 of a second. Hopefully we'll get the photo on that just to see the separation. You talk about a guy that knows how to provide drama into a track and field meet, and it's this guy right here, Andrew Wheating.
This time I honestly did not believe he was going to get there.
I was shaking my head up the finishing straight. You don't count this guy out like you didn't count out Dave Waddle.
And Sikotarski can't believe it. Sikotarski cannot believe that Wheating caught him at the end. Sikotarski was putting his hand to the heavens, thinking he had this.
And that may be why he lost.
Yeah. Watch down the stretch here. Sikotarski, Wheating making up ground with every single stride, and this kid is the Michael Phelps of track and field. He has one long stride. Now watch Sikotarski as he comes across the line. He feels like he's got this race, but you look at Wheating's chest. It's the chest that must come through first, and it is Wheating, and the crowd is getting this photo as well, and they're reacting to it. Here's the photo. Wheating's chest just in front of Sikotarski.
And you runners at home, you need to see what he did. He turned his torso. He twisted his torso to get it in front of Sikotarski. Very smart running.
And right now, he's with Lindsay Soto. Lindsay.
Okay, Andrew, you just saw the replay there, your reaction. That was close.
That was unbelievable. I was so nervous. I was hanging in there. I just gave it everything, every last bit of energy that I had from all those races. Just the last 200, all right there. And it's all because of these guys. The reason I got speed is because of this crowd right here. I know what it feels like to lose by that much, so I mean, it takes nothing away from that man. He's just as fast a runner as I am. He's just got a lot of talent.
That was a quick turnaround from the 1500. Did that take a lot out of you? Is that why that was as close as it was?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, this is the first time I've doubled. I mean, I've equaled the number of races I run this season in 2 days. So, I mean, this is all just good strength work, and I mean, I'm in it for the points. I'm in it for that team title. I'm in it for the rest of my teammates. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here for individual. I'm here for the team.
Well, I would imagine that it was worth it anyway to run that 1500. You guys had a lot of fun, huh?
Oh my God, it was great. I was nervous, but it was really good.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Oh wait, I gotta ask real quick. The tattoo. Turn around. When'd you get it?
I got that right when I got back from China with the rest of the 800 crew.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot,
guys.
Here's the end of the race once again, and what a day this has been, not only for him, but for the University of Oregon in general. And you know, he spoke about the crowd, and we touched upon this earlier, but the crowd is very clearly a factor here in Eugene, Oregon. What a factor they've been for the home team today. Still more to come. Don't go away.
What's your pit type? Sweaty? Hairy? Sensitive? Introducing the first line of customized protection, New Speed Stick Pro. What's your pit type?
Can you work late this week?
Sure. Okay.
No can do. No, Monday is seafood extravaganza. And Tuesday's Applewood Grill.
And Wednesday?
Hickory Bourbon Grill. It's all for about $10.
You got a lot on your plate.
I don't now, but I will.
Enjoy Golden Corral's 7-day dinner cruise featuring signature steak, seafood, and chicken. Help yourself to a different dinner theme every night. All on our endless buffet, all for around $10.
Oh, honey, do you have to work this weekend?
Oh, no way. Saturday's beef lovers night.
Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness.
Go out for a night off the town. Check out the Bass Pro Shops Go Outdoors event for great deals on great gear and save thousands on a new boat during the Steal of a Deal boat sale.
Let's take a look at the women's scores in this event, and Oregon continues to lead by a pretty good margin over Stanford. USC within about 12 of the Stanford Cardinal, and it's Arizona State, UCLA, Washington, and Arizona in that order. Just a couple of moments ago, the women's 400-meter hurdles was run, and Dalilah Muhammad of USC, the favorite in this race, but it was not to be. And last year's runner-up, Lorraine King, led virtually from start to finish and beat Muhammad in the stretch run, even though she appeared to get a little bit tired over this last hurdle here, but got to the finish line first, and that's what's really important. So a win for Washington State. And one position improvement for Lorraine King as she goes from Pac-10 runner-up to Pac-10 champion. Muhammad is second, and Jasmine Chaney of ASU finishes in third place. Turn to the field events once more, Tom. The men's shot put.
Well, it was a much anticipated showdown yesterday. Arizona's Zach Lloyd, third on the collegiate list last year and third in March's NCAA indoor, jumps out to an early lead, 64 8 3/4 in the second round, but that was really not what you would call a lead that you would think would hold up. And this is Bo Taylor of UCLA, third place in this conference, 58 1 1/4, hard to believe. Now Ryan Whiting, two-time NCAA indoor champion. He was in second place going into round 6. He finally got his act together and threw 66-10 on the penultimate throw of the competition. Now let's flash back to last year, when in round 3, Zach Lloyd stunned Whiting's ASU fans with a 69-foot throw, a personal best that Whiting had no answer for. So Lloyd enters the ring in round 6 to see if he can recapture the magic from last year, but he could not summons a similar effort. And Whiting, who made a trip to the White House with ASU's team and impressed some of the civil engineering people that work in the White House, he put the scholar into scholar athlete, and he won 66-10 with Lloyd second and Bo Taylor third.
And the men's scores, as we stand right now, it continues to be a dominant win for the home Oregon Ducks as they lead Stanford. They've almost doubled up on the Stanford Cardinal. And we come now to the men's 400-meter hurdles. And normally you would say this would be academic for Joshua Anderson. He won for fun in his heats yesterday, but a little disappointing in his 400-meter run. And let's see if something's wrong.
You hit the nail on the head here, Barry. This is an all-universe guy and a guy that we would seriously consider being able to make the U.S. 400-meter hurdle team for the World Championships. And let's look back at Joshua's career. He won the NCAA 400-meter hurdles title last year as a freshman and just showed his strength down the stretch here. He just eats up gobs and gobs of turf as he runs, and that was his personal best and really showed that he is a national caliber performer. Now, let's go back to when he was in the California State high school championships too. Last year he won the Pac-10s easily for Washington State. And then in football, he had 33 catches last year for one of the worst teams in NCAA Division I. And look at the skill in which he captures that ball. Barry, and you called a few of his games. And then, who could forget the California State High School Championships when he finally broke George Porter's 20-plus-year-old high school record in the event at 35-28. This guy always performs best in the big races. Now, this is a big race. It's for a conference championship. And one thing I need to point out, Mark McDonald, who coached Lorraine King to that big PR in the 400-meter hurdles, he has 4 finalists here from Washington State in this race, Barry.
Yeah, big event for the Cougs. Barry Levitt is in lane 3, Anderson's in lane 4, Trevor Haberstadt is in lane 7, and Jay Hopkins out in lane 8. So 4 Cougars in this race. Dwayne Walker of USC had the second fastest qualifying time alongside Anderson in lane 5. But here's a look at Anderson. And we are underway. And a pretty even start.
I have to tell you, he looked like he was plodding in the 400 meters. He just looked heavy. He looks much better here. He may just be much more comfortable with hurdles out in front of him, and the strength is clearly there. But he has a chance to win this title 4 times, but this might be one of his tougher races.
Well, right now he's made up the stagger on virtually everybody. So it is Anderson, who right now seems to be running pretty much by himself. He's got, I would have to think, about a 5-yard lead right now as he comes over the hurdle before the head of the stretch, and Anderson with a pretty good size lead right now.
He looks very good, Barry, and Jake Hansen of Cal moving up down the home stretch. He was second in this last year, but look at how strong he's driving down the finish. Oh my, 48.90, and he's pretty happy about it, Dwight.
Yeah, maybe nothing wrong with his hammy, huh?
Well, maybe just holding back at the 400 and actually not wanting to get out of stride. I mean, if you watch a fast hurdler run in a sprint relay, they run like a hurdler. They don't run like a sprinter. So that was an impressive performance from top to bottom. I'm looking here, he's off the 9th hurdle, and though Jake Hansen was doing a nice job trying to make a race of it through about 300 meters, Joshua Anderson ran like he was trying to make the Olympic team here and goes under 49 seconds.
Well, Dwight, that time is by far the fastest in the country among collegians. A half second faster than what Justin Gaiman has run this year. So he is well positioned now for the real blue ribbon events of the season.
That was an impressive performance, and there was no doubt about it by the time they got the second hurdle. So there's your champion, Joshua Anderson, and he did it exactly the way he would have wanted, in impressive fashion. 48.9 the time for Anderson. How good is that? We're coming back.
At U.S. Bank, we support athletics, the arts, and anyone with a dream. Support that's not just about money. It's about investing our time and our care to make the most of the places we call home. That's the power of U.S. Bank. 5-star service guaranteed.
Well, Joshua Anderson, really impressive. This very knowledgeable track and field crowd here in Eugene with good reason. And right now, he's with our own Lindsay Soto.
A 48.90. Pretty happy with that time, it looked like.
Yes, ma'am. I've just been praying. I had to run open 4, which was hard, and didn't like my time, but I wanted to come back for the 400 hurdle and just clear my mind. My coach said, don't think about being tired. Don't think about, your time in the 400, just run. So, I just ran and let God do the rest.
Were you holding back at all in the 4 flat in order to save something for this?
I don't think so. I wanted to run as hard as I could. That's how I just run the 4, is kind of slow and then try to push it in in the end. But it's pretty windy. But, I just wanted to come in the 400 hurdles. I wasn't fresh, but it felt good today. Just running out here. The crowd is a great crowd out here on Hayward Field. So it's just been a blessing.
Thanks a lot, guys.
So now we'll turn our attention to the women's 200 meters. Gail Devers is the meet record holder, 22.71. Sharonda Williams was the winner here last year, and she's in this race once again. Fastest qualifier yesterday at 23.21.
One thing about Sharonda Williams that I don't think a lot of our viewers are going to realize is that she's number 2 right now collegiately, and I have a feeling that the people in the Southeastern Conference don't know just how good a sprinter Sharonda Williams is. I think she's going to be a contender for the NCAA title, and that 100 meters in 11:14 earlier today without breaking a sweat is definitely shows that she is ready for this, Barry.
And alongside, to her inside, Shalina Clark. She'll have Dominique Malloy, a teammate, alongside, and then Shalina Clark to the inside lane, too.
And Shalina Clark set a personal best earlier today, 13.19 behind Kim Yon Broom's Cal School record in the 100-meter hurdles. And Dwight and I were talking off camera a little bit that USA is starting to really make a run as far as team points go. It may be a little bit too little too late, but if Clark can get in there and Judith Onyepanuka can get in there, Onyepanuka 5th in the 100, but she's a very big athlete, maybe tight out of lane 1.
Running out of lane 1, she'll have everybody out in front of her.
Ariane Payne of USC also in lane number 7, so the Trojans can pick up some ground here.
And Sherelle Garrett outside of her in lane number 5 for California. Remember, she was doing a little woofing at Sherelle Garrett, but she was speaking with Lindsay Soto after winning the 100.
She was, and Sherelle Garrett was 2nd in the 100.
And they come up. So we'll do this all over again.
Dominique Malloy, who's in lane 3, Barry, we haven't talked about her, but she was 2nd in the Pac-10 200 meters last year, and she was 3rd in the 100 meters. And now we're getting set for the long jump. And this is Luis Rivera Morales. He's a senior and the favorite coming into the event. He's from Agua Prieta, Mexico, via Central Arizona College. And he was 3rd here last year in the top returnee. He fouled his first attempt and his second attempt before getting his act together in round 3 with 24:11 3/4. So he made it into the final 3 jumps. Then Nelson Rosario, he's a 6'4", 202-pound freshman, a big kid from El Camino in Oceanside. He was a defensive back on the UCLA football team. He gets out to a barely legal personal best 25 even, and we'll get back to that long jump package later, Barry.
This race just getting underway, very even race right at the moment, and now it is Sharonda Williams starting to make a move around the turn. It is Sharonda Williams running well on the outside is Yasmin Woodruff of UCLA. It is Williams in the center of the track, Woodruff in 2nd place, but it's going to be Williams who's going to win it. The battle is for 2nd, and coming on now is Malloy to finish 2nd, close for 3rd, and I believe it was Clark of USC who got there for 3rd.
You know, sometimes it's good to run angry, and I would say she's a little angry based on the interview that she gave earlier, and there's nothing wrong with that. She's now defended both her titles in the 100 and the 200. She obviously had something that she wanted to prove, something that she wanted to say. She was all business, and as a coach, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'll say. Worked out just fine for her. It was an even race up to the turn. From the turn on, no contest.
Well, she ran the turn hard. I mean, she was out very, very hard, and she obviously has the background strength to hold it all the way down the finishing straight. Look at her lengthening her lead over her teammate. So a 1-2 for the Arizona State Lady Sun Devils, and a little bit of an exclamation point for Sharonda Williams here.
Yes, she's had that chip on her shoulder, I think, all day today.
She sure has, and again, it was like last year, 1-2 for the Sun Devils, same 2. Sherelle Garrett had a false start and was out, and now we're back to the long jump, picking it up. And this is Ashton Eaton. Boy, if we had enough of him. Unbelievable. He wins the decathlon from last week, and now he finished 3rd in the 400 in a huge performance. He's the 2-time Pac-10 decathlon champion and the conference leader in the event, and in response to the crowd's exhortations, and he moves into 1st with a 2nd round 25-6. But the fireworks continue in the 3rd round as Eaton extended out to 25-6 3/4. Now, he was 7th here last year, and it looked by all accounts as if he would climb the podium for the 2nd time, and the crowd was really into it, but not to be. Morales gets a monster in round 4, 26 feet even, and while he got into that rarefied air with a big PR, he extended it into 26-1 in round 5 that comes from nowhere and puts him into 4th on the collegiate list this year. Eaton 2nd. What a tremendous conference meet he's had, and the football player, long jumper Nelson Rosario 3rd.
So some pretty impressive results in the men's long jump. Luis Rivera Morales, circuitous route to Tucson, but he makes it good. Now the men's 200 meters. And I guess you'd have to say the one to beat here is Ahmad Rashad, he has had a very successful meet here, and he comes off a big win in the 100.
It's a summit meeting. We've got Rashad and Bose and Dwight. I'm curious to see what you think about this.
Well, I'll tell you, I think that Ahmad Rashad off his 100-meter race, if he's got the strength and he's really over the injury in his head as well as physically, he'd be very tough to beat here. He's right in the middle there between Woods and Bose as far as lane assignments are concerned. So he's got Bose out in front of him. If Bose goes out fast, which he probably needs to do in order to have any chance of winning this race, that will actually be an advantage for Rashad, almost a rabbit type of effect.
Well, I think it's. I think you're right. Rashad, 2 years ago, made the NCAA 200-meter final. Bose, it's going to be interesting. He really had a terrific 200-meter race earlier this year in the UW-Washington State meet. And let's not count out Justin Woods either, who, Dwight, you pointed out, had a terrific start in the 100 meters, but kind of gave it up at the end to Rashad.
Of course, the 200, the start is less important, but Woods did have a nice reaction to the gun as we see him there in the 100, and he definitely has the strength to be a very dominant 200-meter runner, but Bose, that strength is undeniable. And if he has not left everything on the track in the 400, and he didn't appear to finish that hard, then it could be a very competitive race.
Now let's take a look back to the 100, where we saw Rashad have really the race of his life, probably, that 10:13. You can see Rashad on the right and Woods on the left, and Rashad just looks so smooth. And I think, Dwight, when he ramps it up, he is really a fine specimen out there.
Well, he's one of those athletes that's learning that you've got to relax to let the strength and the speed come out. You can't fight it. It's like a pitcher throwing the ball as opposed to pitching the ball. And I think he's learning that. And in youngsters, it does take some time. But Coach Ron Allison and the others on his staff are starting to convince him. Then when you're also feeling 100% healthy, that combination makes it almost unstoppable. That's the most relaxed I've seen him all year. And he got a good time out of it, a big PR out of the 100.
I'm really looking forward to this race because Bose ran that 20:61 in the Washington State dual meet with no competition, and Rashad looking so good in that 100. I think it's going to be very, very interesting here.
A lot of competition. As you see, Justin Woods, he had a great start in the 100. Rashad ran him down. Jordan Bose, already a champion in the 400, ran a great wire-to-wire race, really. And even Joey Hughes actually came off pretty good 400, too. He's out there in lane 8. So this is a tough race.
That's a really good point, Barry. I mean, Bose ran 45:64. Hughes had a monster PR, 45:93. And I think Ron Allison was going, hey, I'm going to run this guy in 4 events. It's 8 races over 2 days. Joey Hughes doesn't seem to be the worst for wear right now.
Dance with what brung you, huh?
That's right. Or juggle chainsaws. This is the 7th of 8 races he has today. And you kind of wonder, when is that motor going to run out on Joey Hughes?
Well, he's out there in lane 8. Tough lane, to be sure. All the action will take place behind him. Underway. And again, Woods had a good start.
Bose really got out well, Barry. Bose has made up the stagger on Woods.
He has. Here comes Bose, and he tripped. Bose might have pulled the muscle. He's done. So Bose is out of it, and here in the center of the track comes Rashad. It'll be Rashad now. Woods coming up at his shoulder. Rashad and Woods going to be close. Come to the finish line. Rashad, Woods, and out here in lane number 7, Marcus Duncan finishing 3rd.
Dwight, you made a great point. Rashad did not strain. At the end of that race, he looked very, very relaxed. And Jordan Bose coming in now.
Bose finishing for the points, which is so impressive. Well-coached athlete. You got to hope that it's just a cramp, and maybe you can just walk it off. It's an awful lot of heat out here. Maybe he's not properly hydrated. A lot of races with the preliminaries and the finals. Hate to lose that kid to the NCAAs in his senior year. If he was running the turn hard, he really went out well, and you'll watch him. He didn't pop up in the air like you sometimes see, but boy, something definitely grabbed him. And he had the presence of mind, stayed in his lane, and went ahead and finished to get the 1 point. And now he's trying to keep the pressure off of it. It could be a calf. Hate to speculate, rather, because a calf is a very, very hard muscle to have heal in a couple of weeks. But Woods so strong right out from the start again. But Rashad did not tighten up trying to catch him. He knew he had time. He says, I still have 100 meters this straightaway. I'm going to reel him in a little bit at a time. Never strained, never tried too hard. That's the maturing of a sprinter right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, I think he really emerged this weekend. He's been impressive in every race he's run. So Rashad doubles up, wins the 100, wins the 200, and does both just in tremendous style, 20.82. And we're coming back.
Skechers Work footwear is stylish, durable, comfortable, and most importantly, slip-resistant. None of those people were wearing work footwear. Buy Skechers.
What do you think I should pay for my deductible? Do you think like $250, $500? Hi, what do you think? $500, $250? Collision? Comprehensive? I don't even know what it means. Do you even know what that means?
Number 39.
Is $1,000 deductible too high?
Number 40.
Hi. Hi, maybe you can help me.
You know that place where lots of questions meets nobody seems to know?
I'm so there.
You like answers? Get advice and savings from a State Farm agent. Call, click, or visit and switch.
I asked my State Farm agent.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights.
Go spend a little more time and a little less money. Check out the Bass Pro Shops Go Outdoors event for expert advice and amazing daily specials Friday through Sunday. Your adventure starts here.
Back at Hayward Field in the 2009 Pac-10 Track and Field Championships, where we just saw Jordan Bowes, the winner in the 400, pull up in the 200. I just talked to him. He says it is nothing serious. It is a hamstring strain. He felt it immediately out of the blocks and pulled up as soon as he felt like he couldn't go any further. He says it was just tightness left over from the 400. As far as the team battle is concerned, both of the Oregon schools are in the lead, in position to sweep the team battle for the second time in school history, the first time here on their own track. And I tell you what, these fans here at Hayward Field, very knowledgeable in the ways of track and field, would love nothing more than to cheer their teams along a victory lap. Not that they haven't had plenty to cheer about in the last few years.
When you see Hayward Field, you can almost feel the ghosts. This is where Bill Bowerman built the historic teams of track legends. This is where the crowd cheered for Steve Prefontaine, and Alberto Salazar had the crowds draped over the fences and hanging off the rafters, and the University of Oregon was the best. But University of Oregon track fell from its lofty perch. The years of being dominant were few, and in stepped Vin Lananna.
I certainly didn't begin the tradition at Oregon. It's long been here. It's all been part of the fabric in this community. And when I came in, we tried to look at what are the things that make Oregon track and field special, and we tried to recapture that.
We recognize these coaches have had such great history and had such great athletes before and great careers as well, that you know you're coming to a place where you're going to get some good coaching. I mean, not just good, but great coaching. And they'll help you compete at the next level.
Now, the UO has the feeling of, oh my. Oregon has regained the #1 ranking by combining distance running, always a team specialty, with quality field events. The result is that Oregon is back atop the collegiate ranks.
This is the bonds that we build as a team. This is, you know, what I do means something to Nicole Blood. What Nicole Blood does means something to Meg Maloney. It's just, we all want it so bad.
We're a team that nobody really thought of on the national level, and now all of a sudden we're winning NCAAs, we're a threat to the Pac-10, and now we're a threat to the Nationals.
And the plan is to stay there. The field and stadium are restored, as well as the glory of the past. It is the past that is driving the future.
We just look back to the wonderful days of Bowerman. We look back at the 60s and the 70s. We reconnected with Dellinger's era, and we took a lot of the qualities that Tom Heinen and Martin Smith put together, and we started to look at what should we do? Should we start hosting big meets? At the core of it, it was to bring the Olympic trials here.
And Wheating coming on the outside into second. Oregon, 1-2, Simmons and Wheating. Oh my gosh!
So that we could show off this place, because there's no place like Hayward Field. There's no place. And I think no matter what other programs, no matter how many national championships they won, there's nothing like Hayward Field.
What do you think I should pay for my deductible? Do you think like $250, $500? Hi, what do you think? $500, $250? Collision? Comprehensive? I don't even know what it means. Do you even know what that means?
Number 39.
Is $1,000 deductible too high?
Number 40.
Hi. Hi, maybe you can help me.
You know that place where lots of questions meets nobody seems to know?
I'm so there.
You like answers? Get advice and savings from a State Farm agent. Call, click, or visit and switch.
I asked my State Farm agent.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Go out for a night off the town. Check out the Bass Pro Shops Go Outdoors event for great deals on great gear and save thousands on a new boat during the Steal of a Deal boat sale.
The final score.
weeknights.
We need a woman's opinion.
We say the first thing a woman notices about a guy is his shoes.
And you're all wearing Skechers. Nice.
Wow. Yeah, I told you. And then?
Personality.
You two guys are in trouble.
You want those chips?
Yeah.
It can't always be smooth, but your beer should be. Smooth brewed for that smooth Keystone taste. Keystone Light is always smooth, even when you're not.
Are you okay?
We welcome you back to Hayward Field. We're here in Eugene, Oregon. These are the 2009 men's and women's track and field championships. Right now, let's take you to our 76 gasoline field event highlights, guys.
Well, the first family of the hammer is definitely the middles. This is Zach, who's a junior at UW. He's one of 3 brothers to score in this meet, and father Dwight wasn't too bad either. Third last year, Zach finishes in the same spot this time out at 208 feet 4 inches. Now, NCAA indoor weight champ Jason Lewis, he's a walk-on to Arizona State. He's been taken under the wing by Ryan Whiting. On his 5th round throw, he gets out to 215.4 and then ultimately improves it in the 6th round to 216.6. David Dumble doing an outstanding job with the Arizona throw team and taking a walk-on like Lewis and making him into an NCAA champion is very impressive. But the day belonged to Boldy Kozar, a senior from UCLA, who won his 3rd conference crown with a 2nd round 219.7. He was 4th at last year's NCAA and will be looking to move up this year. And again, another one of Art Venegas' top flight throwers. He's on the podium for the 3rd time in 4 years. Lewis 2nd, Middles 3rd. And now the men's pole vault competition also held yesterday. And this is Nick Mossberg. He's a redshirt senior. He's been one of the more impressive athletes at Arizona this year. After 2 passes and 4 first height clearances, Mossberg got tripped up at a PR equaling 17.9. Meanwhile, UW favorite Scott Roth, 2nd in the Pac-10 as a freshman in 07 and redshirted last year, had no problem with the shifting wind conditions. He's coached by Pat Licari, Brad Walker's mentor. Walker, of course, the gold and silver medals at the World Championships. Roth cleared 17.9 on his 2nd attempt, and that won him the competition. He then raised the bar to a personal best 18.4.5, and right there you can see he's pretty happy. He had no problem negotiating that on his 1st attempt. Now, Roth has been slowed by a back injury. That's why he redshirted last year. He is all set to take an attempt at 18.9.5, but before he could get up there, the bar comes down on him. A freak force of nature. The wind brought the bar down. Now watch how Roth hits the ground here. He already has a bad back, and he did a nice acrobatic move there to inhibit any further danger, and he ends up winning the competition at 18.4.5. UCLA, who went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the MPSF indoors this year, only got 3rd this time with Johnny Quinn. And after 17 events, Dwight, tell us what you think of this.
Well, it's just a runaway, as we knew it would be. The Oregon men won the NCAA indoor title. It was clear at that point they were favorites to the outdoor title. And the Pac-10 championships, just a stepping stone on the way to that.
And by the way, they're going after the Triple Crown cross-country, indoor track, and outdoor track on the NCAA level, which has
done since Arkansas.
Arkansas, they're the first one since Arkansas. Now, the women's javelin. Marissa Shida of Washington State. She was 4th last year, and she repeated here with a throw of 159.3. It seemed as if the women did not have as much trouble with the wind conditions as the men did. Now, this is senior Ashley McCrae. She was 6th in the javelin last year. She was looking to get some duck points in what seemed to be a tight women's race yesterday, and she came through in the last round, moving from 4th to 3rd with 164 even, excuse me. Christine Busa, another one of those Hungarian throwers that Dan Lang seems to find out of every small nook and cranny there. She came into the meet with a best of 173.4. She took 2nd, but the crowd came to see Rachel Yurkovich, and she looked to become a 4-time winner in the event, and sure enough, she did, and she threw a monster 191.2. A Pac-10 record by 1 inch. And you can see she joins a select group of women that have won 4 consecutive years, including Olympians Acuff, Johnson, and Erica McLean, who's probably going to be a future Olympian, and Inga Stasianieliti of USC. Now, the women's high jump, Dwight, it was a top-flight field, but a little bit of a disappointment.
You know, this is a very good place to jump, and that's been proven over and over again, and the women had a tough time. This is Anika McPherson, the senior from Cal. She's very diminutive by the standards of the women's high jump, but she was effective in that she just didn't miss and didn't open the door for her competitors. The big favorite coming in would be Erica Patterson, University of Arizona. She was second at the indoor NCAA, setting a personal best 6'4" 3/4", but McPherson just would not give her any opportunity. McPherson has competed in the Pan Am Games, so she has international experience. This is her missing at 6'1" 1/4". She wins the event at really a pedestrian height of 5'11" 1/4", but you don't care how high it takes, as John Rembaugh is helping from the sideline. Patterson has been nursing a bit of an injury that she's hoping to have all taken care of by the NCAA meet, but McPherson wins at her senior year. Patterson, the junior, gets second, and Jasmine Day, Sharon Day's younger sister, getting third.
And one of the more interesting women's races occurring on 5,000 meters. This was a race where you could see blood moving into first place with about a lap and a half to go. And she gets by Lauren Chetelat, the outstanding freshman from Stanford. And then coming down the straight, look who came out of the woodwork. Lauren Centrowitz, who had that bitterly disappointing 5th place finish in the 1,500 meters, and she came right down through the home stretch to join her brother Matt as a winner here. You can probably imagine that Jason Dunn, the Stanford coach, may have said to Lauren, hey, look, that 5th place in the 1,500, you should have won that race. We're going to get you back out here for the 5,000. And Centrowitz takes down Blood in front of her home crowd. Blood, the defending champion. Granted, Blood also ran the 1,500 just ahead of Centrowitz. She finished second after finishing 4th in the 1,500. So Centrowitz, the winner, Blood second, and the freshman, who's a very exciting prospect, Lauren Chetelat, in third.
And here's the way the team scores stand right at the moment, and that is Oregon with the lead over Stanford by 21.5 points, and that should be enough to do it. We wind down in the track and field championships presented by 76. We're coming back after this.
Eric Bedard returns to action as the Mariners and Angels face off in this series finale. Tonight at 6:30 on FSN and FSN HD.
Here's the throw to play. It is! In time, he got him!
Tonight, this is FSN.
If you are a fan of courage, if you admire determination, if you are impressed by grace under pressure, and can't help but share in the joy of victory, then you are already a fan of Special Olympics. Make it official. Volunteer, coach, or compete. And be a fan of dignity, acceptance, and the human race. Special Olympics. Be a fan.
Welcome back to Hayward Field. Well, Tom and Dwight, we've had one exciting finish after another. This was no exception.
The 5,000 meters was just a superb race. We've been spoiled here. This is Brandon Bethke of Arizona State. He transferred from Wisconsin, took third in the Big Ten steeple. He's down the home stretch here at Hayward Field. Shadrack Kiptoo-Biwott coming up at the end, and Bethke barely holds him off. 0.06 of a second for Bethke, who earlier in the day ran 7th in the 1,500 meters. Look at this, after 12.5 laps, 0.06 of a second separating 1 and 2. And in third place was Chris Derrick of Stanford, who was third earlier in the 10,000. He is the American junior record holder in the 5,000. He broke Galen Rupp's junior record. We're going to be looking for a lot of great things from him over the next 3 years.
Takes us now to the women's 4x400 relay. UCLA dominant here.
They definitely were, and Nicole Leach ran the anchor leg for the Bruins. Sure had something to prove after finishing second in the 400. And running anchor for Arizona State was Sharonda Williams, but Leach came through, led the Bruins very solidly. The anchor leg at 52.9. Kristen Lacey ran a 52.8 on the second leg, and Sharonda Williams outkicked the others to finish second for Arizona State, and UCLA should be a contender to get some pretty high points at the NCAAs in this event, Barry.
So the results then for the 4x400 women is UCLA wins it rather easily over Arizona State, and Oregon came back from last after the first couple legs to finish in third place. So now the last event on the track, the men's 4x400 relay, the Pac-10 meet record holder, Arizona State Sun Devils, 3:01.26. They were the champions last year in 3:04.75. And this is the second flight of this event. It'll be in lane 3, the Oregon Ducks, lane 4, Arizona State, lane 5, Washington State, lane 6, USC, lane 7, Washington.
Well, Barry, the reason why they're running 2 flights is because this is an 8-lane track and not a 9-lane track where many of the previous Pac-10 hosts have had 9 lanes. This is kind of the who still has a pulse that can run this event.
I tell you, Ashton Easton, who is running the first leg for Oregon in lane number 3, he has had not only a busy day, busy couple weeks.
Well, you got to wonder why he's in there, except for any other thing that maybe he's just working out for the NCAA meet.
The other note is that Washington is without Jordan Bowes, but Washington State will run Jeshua Anderson on the anchor leg on a team that is based, Justin Woods will run the second leg, so it's an interesting mixture of 400-meter hurdlers and 100-meter runners.
And Eaton did a pretty good job early in this race. They'll stay in lanes, incidentally, for the first leg and a half.
I wouldn't count out Ashton Eaton in anything. This kid has got the heart of a lion and a body of a Hercules.
And he had finished third in the open 400 earlier today, as well as being second in the long jump.
And he high jumped.
And he high jumped this afternoon as well.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah. Well, we all know that doesn't take much out of you.
No, of course.
That's Jason Price of USC, who has been running really only 4x4 legs. He ran 48.3 for USC. They're currently in second place or thereabouts, and Nate Anderson now running for the Trojans.
And just blowing right by Marshall Alley of Oregon.
Well, Ashton Eaton ran a very good opening 400, actually passed off the stick first to Marshall Ackley, who just sort of jogged the first 200, and now he's getting serious. He will not give up second place.
It's the decathlon 400, Dwight, because Ackley was second in the decathlon to Eaton, so they've done pretty well here. But Nate Anderson of USC coming in on the outside. Trojans don't like to lose 4x4s.
No, exactly. So it's going to be the Trojans who make the pass first, Oregon second, Washington State third, and finally Arizona State.
Nice leg for Nate Anderson, 46.3, and now the 8th race in the Pac-10 meet for Joey Hughes of USC.
And Hughes has just had a tremendous meet here in Eugene.
He really has. And, you know, he was second in that 400, a lifetime best, his first time under 46. He came apart a little bit in the 200, but if they can hold on for the win here, he'll have 2 relay victories along with that second place.
And Jeff Gudaitis of Washington State running third came up on the shoulder that time of Travis Thompson, but Thompson fought him off. So it's going to be SC, Oregon, Washington State, Arizona State.
And Joey Hughes really opened it up here on the home stretch. A very well-timed leg, really ran it smart. And now he passes off to Dwayne Walker, and Joey Hughes ran 45.6 on that leg. 45.6. Good Lord, this kid has got the heart of a lion. And Dwayne Walker, by the way, we didn't talk much about him, but he ran a 1.5-second PR in the 400-meter hurdles this weekend, and he has really done a nice job. for the Trojans. They didn't expect anything out of this kid, and he's really done a good job.
Joshua Anderson's running the leg for Washington State the way he ran the open 400. I'm sure they would have preferred he ran it the way he ran the 400 hurdles, where he was victorious in a very strong time, but at least he doesn't look as heavy on his feet, and he probably will finish strong as Oregon now trying to challenge for second place. It's just been all Oregon this week, and everything has gone the right way as Anderson now coming up.
Yeah, here comes Anderson. Anderson trying to get second place for his team, but being fought off by the Ducks. SC wins it. Close for second, and Anderson, I think, got it.
I think you're right. 46 flat, by the way, for Dwayne Walker. He's a guy, ladies and gentlemen, just a freshman. Remember this guy's name, Dwayne Walker. He is a tremendous prospect and has had a good weekend, unlooked for by many people because of all the exploits by everybody else here.
3:06:30, the winning time for USC, and here's a look at the battle for second place.
That's a pretty confident call, Barry, by 2/100ths of a second. Anderson also very confident. He's like, oh yeah, I got this guy. But look at how close this ends up being. Anderson nice and forward, torso crosses first, but 200s, that's pretty close. That's tough to call from up here, Barry.
I went to school on what you told me the last time, that getting the chest across is what counts, and that's what counted for Washington State. They finished second. We'll come back and wrap up a great day here in Eugene after this.
At U.S. Bank, we support athletics, the arts, and anyone with a dream. Support that's not just about money. It's about investing our time and our care to make the most of the places we call home. That's the power of U.S. Bank. 5-star service guaranteed.
We open on a close-up of the peppers, cut to the olive oil pouring. Turn the burner to a low simmer. Cut to the beautiful Mia, taking fresh basil out of the refrigerator. Next, move into an extreme...
Cut! David, it's time to open the wine.
Look at those.
The Monogram Collection.
We're the all-new Metropolitan Appliance, just 3 blocks south of Safeco Field.
And still the only appliance store you'll ever need.
The Pac-10 Track and Field Championships are presented by 76 Gasoline. 76, get the spirit. All right, let's do a little house cleaning before we get out of Dodge with the 76 field event highlights. Dwight, let's start with you.
All right, Barry, in the women's hammer throw, it's the Hungarian connection of Coach Dan Lange's Ava Orban, the defending NCAA champion. The senior was the runner-up here at the Pac-10 meet last year, but today she whips it out to 221.1, winning by more than 11 feet, and certainly getting ready to defend her NCAA title in the middle of June.
A big reason for Oregon's outstanding performance on the women's side was Jamisha Youngblood. The sophomore had 1 legal jump in the long jump and set a school record 21 1 1/4. She had 2 legal jumps in the triple jump and went out to 43 2 1/4 for another school record.
In the women's pole vault, it was a career day for sophomore Melissa Gregel. 3 personal bests topped by a 14-foot 2-inch performance, easily outdistancing her competition. Took advantage of those winds that blow down that pole vault runway.
And in the women's discus, perhaps the most decorated Pac-10 champion of all, Sarah Stevens, on her first throw, 187.8. She won by 17 feet, her second best throw of her lifetime. She has now scored 118.5 points in her career in the Pac-10 meet at Arizona State.
So much as their male counterparts, the Oregon women come up a winner, 165.5 points. That's 27.5 points better than runner-up Stanford. Arizona State finishes second, and USC finishes a distant 4th.
Here's an interesting event, the men's discus. Daniel Scherer, he gets out to 2:08.6, and you can see the reaction. He knew it was great right away. The second best throw collegiately this year, a personal best by 9 feet. He's an academic All-American, Swiss native, grew up in La Jolla.
Men's high jump, Trent Arivi of Washington State, the junior, has been twice 3rd place in the Pac-10. He finally wins it this year with 7.2 1/4, but his 7.4 1/2 leads the NCAA outdoors so far in 2009.
And in the men's triple jump, Luis Rivera Morales. He had a personal best in the long jump yesterday. Today, he gets the young blood double as he wins the triple jump. And you can see on the Exmo camera the kind of extension that he has.
Pretty outstanding for a short guy.
Yeah, and an outstanding landing.
A double winner for Morales.
Well, they say it's never over till it's over. This was. Oregon actually won it yesterday. And who could be happier than the winning coach? We'll find out, as right now he is with Lindsay Soto.
Finland Anna celebrating a sweep of the team titles on his own turf. Saw some pretty big smiles out of you. I know you're very happy about the women's win, their first since 1992. What does that mean for the ladies?
I'll tell you, they were absolutely fantastic. They are what champions are all about. The number of kids that came out and PR'd this weekend and went well beyond anything we could ever have imagined. They were absolutely fantastic.
And the men obviously looking very strong, coming off a national championship in cross country, a national championship in indoor. How important is it for you to get that triple crown at NCAAs?
You know, I think it's all about for today. We're going to really cherish this win at the Pac-10s. Fantastic staff and team effort all the way around. And this crowd, this is Tracktown USA, and we're very proud of it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys.
Yeah, it was really one great event after another, and you and I, Tom and Dwight, have really hooked up on many good events, and this one's right up there among them. I mean, it was one exciting finish after another, virtually every event.
Yeah, when you know you're going to have the kind of events here that you're going to have, the Olympic trials, the Pac-10 meet, the Prefontaine Classic, it's just the crowd is driven. They know what they're doing, and these kids love to compete for them.
I don't think there's any question about it. Just a tremendous event here over the last couple of days in Eugene. You know, there's that old expression, it's a great day for ducks, but I always thought that meant when it rained. Well, as a matter of fact, the sun shone today, and it really shone on the Oregon Ducks, and for them, I guess you could say things just went swimmingly. That is a wrap for us from here at Hayward Field, a great old place in a great town for track and field, Eugene, Oregon. A wrap for us, for my partners Dwight Stones and Tom Fewer and Lindsay Soto. I'm Barry Tompkins. So long, everybody.
Eric Bedard returns to action as the Mariners and Angels face off in this series finale. Tonight at 6:30 on FSN and FSN HD.
Here's the throw to plate. It is! It's time, he got him!
Tonight, this is FSN.
Best Damn has a superstar guest. Countless countdowns to the unbelievable moments. Weeknights, check local listing.
The World Poker Tour. The biggest games, the greatest players, and the largest payouts on the planet. The WPT is a series of international high-stakes poker tournaments that can turn amateur players into millionaires and make professionals into superstars. With millions of dollars on the line, it's time for these 5 players to live the dream of fame, fortune, and the one thing money can't buy, a WPT title. Tonight on the World Poker Tour.
From Southern California and the world-renowned Commerce Casino, tonight we bring you the exciting conclusion of the $6.7 million LA Poker Classic. Hi everyone, I'm Mike Sexton along with Vince Van Patten, and this is the WPT. Tonight, you're joining us from the largest poker room in the world, where the winner is going to take home over $1.6 million.
And we've already seen some very exciting poker play, but in case you missed some of the action, here's some highlights to get you up to speed.
It's not often that you see 6 pro players make it to one of these final tables.
Garrett Goulian wants to be a 2-time WPT champion. After that hand, nicely played, he's on his way.
But what about that bet by Ben Wynn? His 2 pair took down the pot, even though his opponent had a straight. Cornell is going to win this pot.
Well, the 22-year-old has his hand caught in the cookie jar right there.
Well, here goes Chris Ferguson again with the all-in bet.
A pass.
Pat lays his hand down.
You just don't want to double up. The man they call Jesus.
Chris Ferguson has called all his money off.
His dream of becoming a WPT champion slipping away.
Cornell Sempan, very excited, did knock Chris Ferguson out of this tournament. We started out 5 days ago with 696 players, all putting up $10,000 in cold hard cash to enter.
That's right, Mike. And now we are down to these 5 players.
Well, here's an old familiar face. Chris Karagulian became a WPT champion back in Season 1 at the Legends of Poker, where he became a local legend here in L.A.
And on the short stack is a high-stakes cash game player out of St. Louis, Missouri.
We've also got a fearless 22-year-old online pro.
But the men to beat are our chip leaders, Cornell Simpan, who won a seat in the $1,000 satellite, and Ben Wynn, a cash game specialist playing in his first $10,000 buy-in tournament. And Mike, these guys are going to be tough to get by.
Well, we shall see. We do know there's over $1.6 million going to the winner tonight, as well as a coveted WPT title, so this figures to be another classic battle at the Commerce. But Vince, it's anybody's guess as to who's going to take the crown tonight.
Okay, only one way to find out. Let's go watch some Gambo.
Well, this is the biggest event on the WPT this season. Big money up for grabs, as you can see. First place over $1.6 million. Second place $935,000. $654 for third, $430 for fourth, and $310 for fifth.
Going to the table, it is on the chip leader, Ben Wynn. He's got close to $3.8 million in chips, and he's going to throw it away. And now, Cornell Simpan, the pro from Houston. He's got a big hand. Ace, queen of hearts, got a raise.
$250.
Well, he is going to raise it. Makes it $250,000 to go. And with the 10,000 ante, blinds are 50 and 100,000.
Next to act, Pat Walsh. He's got a king 8. He's got the button.
Well, he's got position, but he doesn't have much of a hand. Pat right now on the short stack with just over 1.5 million in chips, but.
All right.
Wow, Vince, look at this. He is going to raise it here on the short stack with just a king 8 offsuit. What a bold play here.
Yeah, it's going to make it $750,000 to go. Chris and Mike quickly fold.
All right, back to Cornell Simpan. Well, he's made the call. So a nice pot developing. Well over $1.5 million in the pot right now.
And a big one, Pat.
Well, Pat not too thrilled with things right now. Let's see what develops on the flop here. Oh, a king comes on the flop. Pat Walsh has taken the lead. Actions on Cornell Simpan.
I'm all in.
And he's moved all in.
Well, he's just making that bet, just praying that Pat Walsh doesn't have a king.
Well, look, if you're going to raise it with a king 8 offsuit and then hit top pair, you got to go with it, don't you, Vince?
I would think so.
I got a call.
Well, Of course, he's got a call. He's got over half his money in the pot already. Here goes the other half.
King? No.
So a massive pot here, over $3.3 million in this pot. Well, Cornell a little upset. He can see that the guy was just trying to make a move on him here. He didn't set him all in before the flop. He got out flopped. Now Cornell's going to have to get lucky to win this pot. Going to have to catch an ace or 2 running cards to make a straight. 2 queens would do it, but right now, Pat Walsh in great shape to double up.
Thanks.
2 cards to come.
Well, a deuce comes off, so we're going to the river. Pat just has to dodge an ace to double up here.
And the Houston Bandit outdraw Pat Walsh. We will see. River card coming up.
Maybe.
Well, the 9 of spades comes off on the river. Pat Walsh has doubled up.
So Pat Walsh doing the wrong thing at the right time makes it pay off.
Yes, it was the right thing at the right time, looks like to me.
And it's one poker warrior right there, and we're just getting underway. We'll be right back on the World Poker Tour.
We play for big pots, small stakes, and the chance to say, read 'em and weep. For the weekends, the all-nighters, and the lunch hour. We play for the legends and for the unknowns who dream of winning it all. For the bad beats and the pocket kings we sometimes have the sense to fold. We play at FullTiltPoker.net.
You're invited to the wedding of the year as soon as we can find the groom.
We lost Doug.
Things got out of control.
We're getting married in 5 hours.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
The Hangover, rated R.
To master the great outdoors, the pros choose Husqvarna for exceptional power and performance, precision, and amazing control. Master your great outdoors with the same power and performance demanded by the pros. Husqvarna, professionally proven outdoor power equipment. Test drive a Husqvarna at your servicing dealer during spring demo days.
What's your pit type? Sweaty? Hairy? Sensitive? Introducing the first line of customized protection, New Speed Stick Pro. What's your pit type?
What if the person of your dreams is out there waiting for you? And what if this weekend only, eHarmony introduced you to that person absolutely free? Announcing the Free Communication Weekend from eHarmony, where we match you with other singles based on 29 dimensions of compatibility, like intellect, values, and character. And this weekend only, you can communicate with your compatible matches for free. The eHarmony Free Communication Weekend, this Friday through Monday. 4 days only, so get started today at eHarmony.com.
Well, you know, because sometimes when you win one, they say, oh, one-time wonder.
I knew I was going to win because I'm the best.
I need to win this one so I can show it's not a one-time. So hopefully I'll play well and get lucky and I'll win. I'll be king of LA. I'll have 2 of them there.
Welcome back to the LA Poker Classic. That is Chris Karagoulian going after his second WPT title. Will he get it here tonight?
What he was saying is anybody can win a poker tournament, but when you're a multiple champion out here in the World Poker Tour, heads turn everywhere you go.
Action on the Houston Bandit, Cornell Simpan, out of Houston, Texas. Quickly folds a queen deuce. Now Pat Walsh with a 10-5, won't play that.
Over to our WPT champ, got an ace-10 on the button. He raises it up.
Made it 300,000 to go. Mike Sowers out, but Ben Wynn with ace-king behind him.
All in.
Says all in.
All in?
Well, Chris couldn't even hardly get that out. You're all in as he squeakily says that.
Like a trick voice we heard there.
Well, he knows that Ben has him covered, so he'd have to put all his chips in to play this hand. And we're talking about a lot of chips here, folks. Over 2 million in chips.
Hate this ace-10.
Chris is going to make a very good laydown. Shows the ace-10.
What did you have? Ace-10 beat. What was it? Better than ace-10.
Picking up me today, huh?
I'm not picking on you. I had a better hand. It's not personal.
I know it's not personal. They'll turn around. I haven't had good hands. They'll turn around.
I know. I'm not doing it with trash hands. I didn't have to do 7.
There's no reason for explanation, boys. This is poker.
Sometimes you do think somebody's just raising you all the time, don't you, Vince? But you stop them by playing with them.
All right, Chris Karagoulian once again looking at a hand. He's got San Francisco 49er. He folds. Mike Sowers also going out. And now Ben Wynn getting loaded up again with a king-10 of spades. Makes it 225.
Well, not a bad hand on the button when you're up against the 2 blinds.
Cornell Simpan out.
Now around to Pat Walsh. He's got king-jack. He's got Kojak. He's going to make the call out of the big blind. As the cards lie, he has been dominated here. King-jack versus king-10. Here's the flop. Well, it's come 10-9-4. Ben out in front now with the 2 10s.
But Pat is going to check with his inside straight draw. Ben with top pair. Momentum. And Ben is going to make a continuation bet.
Well, he's got top pair here. Why not bet it? 300,000. Well, Pat looking down. Maybe to see if he had any diamonds to go with it, but he's got the gut shot straight. But he might think that a king or a jack would give him the lead as well. So looking for a picture card. Well, Pat's going to make the call. Going to look him up here, as we say. Try to hit his hand.
Pat is 33 years old. He studied business and criminal justice at Missouri State. Smart guy.
Well, 5 of hearts on the turn.
No help for Pat. He checks.
Well, Ben is reaching for chips. And it's twice as many chips it looks like as last time. Yep, 600,000 to bet this time.
He's going to make Pat Walsh pay for it if he wants to stick around. Every decision so crucial here on the WPT.
He's calling 600,000 with a gut shot straight draw. Vince, I don't like this play.
Slop time at the Commerce.
Let's see if he can get lucky here.
You never know. Will he hit? No, not to be. A 7 of hearts on the river. So nothing materializing, and he's going to check it. Put up the white flag.
Ben probably happy to check it down with just the 1 pair of 10s.
I have a 10.
Then indeed he does. He's going to win the pot with 2 10s. And I would think Pat would be chastising himself a little bit, Vince, for calling that $600,000 bet on the turn.
Oh, that is just a complete debacle there by Pat Walsh. Now we got the chanting crew out here for Ben Wynn as he takes down 2 in a row. He's the chip leader with over 5.3 million.
Well, Vince, he is ecstatic right now to be the big chip leader with 5 players left, playing in his first ever WPT event.
Huge money at stake. Let's go to the table. Mike Sowers.
Well, the 22-year-old online pro, he goes away.
And now our chip leader, Ben Wynn, again getting chips out. He has just an ace-7. He's going to put in $250,000.
Why not, Vince? Why not go for the hat trick? You're running well. You're the chip leader. Go ahead and raise them up.
The Houston Bandit goes out. Pat Walls quickly folding. But Chris Garagoulian with a 9-8.
Well, he's got 100,000 out there in the big blind. Wants to see a flop. Here it is. Well, king, 10 with 2 spades. No help to either player. Chris checks.
And Ben not going for the continuation bet. He checks as well. Turn card coming up.
Well, just wants to hope his ace high is the best hand. He can get by with it.
No help for either player with a deuce of diamonds. Chris checks.
No sense in betting here. All you can do is get raised probably. So Ben is going to check again on the turn. Here comes that river card. Well, 7 of diamonds comes off. Gives Ben 2 sevens, but the ace high was already good. Well, Chris thinks the only way he can win it is to bet at it, so he's going to take a shot here. 425,000. And Vince, if you're sitting in Ben's seat, you're probably saying to yourself, this guy either had to be trapping on the flop of the turn or he's bluffing right now.
Ben's girlfriend, Irene, sweating her man. A little decision here right now. This would be an excellent call.
And I'd be a little surprised if he doesn't make the call. And he is going to make the call.
Oh, boy.
Well, Chris waited a little bit too late to try to bluff at this pot, man. Sometimes you got to either start bluffing on the flop or the turn if you're going to bluff on the river. It cost him there.
Ben Wynn is hotter than my cousin's gold Rolex right now.
What a lucky seven.
3 in a row. He's our major chip leader. We're coming back with more on the World Poker Tour. Tonight's World Poker Tour brought to you by FullTiltPoker.net.
A poker tournament is a mind game. It's about knowing when to change gears and sensing that sometimes you just need to get out of the way. Win 1 of 4 all expenses paid trips for 2 to Vegas to play poker against NHL players completely free. Only at the world's largest poker site, PokerStars.net.
Can you work late this week?
Sure.
Okay. No can do. No, Monday is seafood extravaganza. And Tuesday's Applewood Grill.
And Wednesday?
Hickory Bourbon Grill. It's all for about $10.
You got a lot on your plate.
I don't now, but I will.
Enjoy Golden Corral's 7-day dinner cruise featuring signature steak, seafood, and chicken. Help yourself to a different dinner theme every night. All on our endless buffet, all for around $10.
Oh, honey, do you have to work this weekend?
Oh, no way. Saturday's beef lovers night.
Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness. Fox Movie Channel presents Saturday Night Triple Play. Movies from 20th Century Fox 3 times in a row.
I'll be there.
Every Saturday night.
Well, I'm not complaining.
Exactly.
Uncut.
Oh, man.
You're dangerous.
Commercial free.
Yay!
We are living in paradise. 3 times in a row.
Bing, bang, boom.
It is excellent.
Should have never left home. I knew it.
Saturday Night Triple Play. Every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Only on Fox Movie Channel.
The Emmy Award-winning Sports Science returns. The greatest athletes. The most outrageous experiments. Busting the biggest sports myths. And blowing your mind. Sports Science.
Eric Bedard returns to action as the Mariners and Angels face off in this series finale. Tonight at 6:30 on FSN and FSN HD.
Drives one to right field. It's gone, and the Mariners have taken a lead. Ichiro with his second consecutive home run.
This Mariners Shot of the Week is brought to you by BK Burger Shots. Available for a limited time only.
The whole tournament, I was short stacked. Coming into the final 20, I was at the bottom. I was number 20th in chips. Do I have a chance to win this tournament? I think I'm destined to win it.
We are back here at the World Poker Tour. And there you see the Houston Bandit, Cornell Simpan, exuding confidence. He believes he can win the 1.6.
Well, Vince, he was the low man with 20 players left. He's the low man with 5 players left. Let's see if he can do it.
Right now, Ben Wynn is our chip leader with $6 million. Action goes to him. The Mucka Jack 6.
Well, that's around the Cornell Simpan. 9-10 suited. He says this is his favorite hand.
I'm all in.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's betting it like it's his favorite hand. He's moving all in with 10 high, folks.
Pat Walsh, though, behind him with a King 10. Won't play it. Karagulian out.
Mike Sowers out as well. So he shows everybody the 10 high. He moved all in with it to pick up the blinds and ante. So
very dramatically shows the push. This guy has some game.
Had you in bad shape.
Well, right now, Amanda Leatherman standing by with Michael the Grinder Mizrachi, former champion of this event.
What are you doing in here?
Well, I'm searching I just want to remember, actually from the past, 4 years ago, what it was like to make a WT final table.
You did win this event. What do you think's going through these people's minds right now?
Everybody wants to win it, but I mean, you're going to be heartbroken if you finish anywhere from 2nd to 5th. But a week later from now, it's like, wow, I got 200, 300, 400, $500,000 more in my pocket. So it's a good thing, and then they'll look forward to the next event. And you know, there's always just one winner when it comes out at the end of the day.
All right, Grinder. Well, hopefully we'll see you at one of these again soon.
Thanks, Amanda.
All right, let's get back to the action.
Well, that was well stated by the WPT champ, Michael the Grinder Mizrachi. He's exactly right. You're saddened if you don't win tonight, but when you check your bank account next week, you're going to be happy with your performance here.
To the table we go, a couple folds, and now the online kid, Mike Sowers, with a big king, queen, suited up of clubs. He's raised it to $250,000 to go. But our chip leader, Ben Wynn, he has a pretty good pair of 7s right behind him.
You always suspect the guy on the button's making some type of move at you when you're in the blinds and everybody's folded to him and he raises it.
I'll raise it.
So Ben Wynn is going to raise with the 2 7s. I like this play.
He's going to test the water. It's an additional $500,000.
So $750,000 the bet.
To Cornell, he's got a King 10 of spades in the big blind.
And the pot's been raised and re-raised. You're not going to get involved with this.
Now
look at this. Online kid has gone all in over the top.
Without hesitation, Vince. Whoa. He sets all of his money out there, $2.8 million.
You start with 2.8?
Well, this is a huge
a little more than 2.8.
Re-raise here. It's going to cost Ben Wynn over $2 million more to call. Now, he is the chip leader, and we'll have several million left even if he calls and loses this pot, but that is a huge amount of money to call with just middle pair.
How do you have the guts to come back over the top with just King, Queen of clubs?
1.5.
I told you, Mike Sowers has got a lot of heart. Make no mistake about that. 22-year-old kid going for $1.6 million, but right now he's holding his breath, hoping Ben Wynn goes away.
$3.5 million, 2.6 to call. 2.6 or 2.0?
I'll tell you something. If Mike Sowers wins this hand, I'm getting one of those hat and glasses.
All right, I call.
Oh, Ben Wynn has made the call. He is gambling with the 2 walking sticks. And we have a classic race situation for a pot that's got over $5.7 million in it.
You got this, Sowers.
Whoever wins this pot will be the massive chip leader at this final table. And if Mike Sowers does not win it, he'll be out of here in 5th place.
Here's the first 3.
Well, Mike Sowers hit the queen on the flop. Mike Sowers has taken the lead with 2 queens, but Vince, the guy doesn't flinch. He knows it's not over.
And look at Ben Wynn looking sadder than an exhibitionist on a deserted island. That is just not the flop he wanted to see.
Well, Vince, he knows he's got to catch a 7 or 2 running spades to make a flush or 2 running cards to make a straight. 5 comes on the turn, making a pair of 5s on the board. So we are down to the river card. Ben Wynn must catch a 7 to win this pot. Otherwise, Mike Sowers is going to double up.
Here comes the river card. It's a 10 of diamonds.
Well, there you go. The 22-year-old is now the chip leader at this final table.
He is the online king. He's our chip king right now. We're coming back with more on the World Poker Tour.
Find out how to become the next WPT champion
at worldpokertour.com.
The boardroom table and the poker table. The only difference between them is a layer of felt. The these tables, we go all in. We're fully leveraged. Reading risk and reward here isn't much different than reading it on a spreadsheet. We play because poker's like business, without the conference calls. The office may close at 6, but there's a game that's always open. We play at FullTiltPoker.net.
Maxiderm works exactly as they said it would.
You literally start feeling it in under 60 seconds.
She actually bought it for me. Now I'm a big believer.
It's never been better. Male enhancement doesn't always mean there's a problem. Maxiderm is for any man or couple that's looking for more. Customers report that it starts working in under 60 seconds, so you can see more, feel more, and enjoy more.
Call the number on the bottom of your screen right now to try Maxiderm absolutely risk-free. Plus, for a limited time, receive a free pack of Vasamine for sustained performance.
What a big difference. Big. Not everybody needs a prescription. That's why we created Maxiderm, the instant male enhancement formula that can make a big difference today.
Call the number on the bottom of your screen right now to try Maxiderm absolutely risk-free. Plus, for a limited time, receive a free pack of Vasamine for sustained performance. Call in the next 15 minutes for free upgraded rush delivery.
Some days my 8:15 bus is just a bus. But other days, like today, it's my office. The boss just emailed me and wants the new proposal ASAP. No worries, though. My smartphone, it's from AT&T. I'm on the nation's fastest 3G network. So that proposal, delivered.
The nation's fastest 3G network. Another reason why twice as many smartphone users have chosen AT&T. Get a Nokia E71X, the thinnest smartphone, for $99.99 after mail-in rebate.
I mean, the money's nice, but to be a WPT champion, that's the ultimate dream. It's like winning the Super Bowl for a football player, you know. Second place is nice, but I always feel like second place is just the first loser.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We are in LA for the LA Poker Classic. Land of the sun, starlets, and bad beat stories. We are down to 5 players.
And right now our chip leader is 22-year-old Mike Sowers with over $5.7 million in chips. Over to our WPT champ, Chris Karagulian.
Quickly folds his hand.
Now Mike Sowers still stacking up chips from the last pot. Lays this hand down.
Now Ben Wynn with the button and a tasty little ace-jack of hearts. Going to make a raise to $250,000.
Well, he's raising on the button. Cornell Sempan going out.
Going to beat is Pat Walsh, who has an ace-deuce. He's in the big blind.
All right.
Well, he says raise.
Oh, boy.
Well, he just thinks Ben might be making a move on the button. He's got an ace high. He's going to come over the top of him and test the water here. Let's see how much he's raising.
It looks like $700,000 in addition here.
Wow, a healthy re-raise by Pat Walsh here.
Just doesn't trust Ben. Thinks he's trying to steal it, but this could come back to bite him here.
Come on, Wynn.
Ben coming back over the top, all in.
Well, Ben Wynn has moved all in. And unfortunately for Pat, he's looking at an ace-deuce. He's only got about $1 million left. But, Vince, I believe the guy is priced in here, meaning there's over $3 million in the pot. He's getting over 3-to-1 odds on his money. And unless his opponent has specifically 2 aces, you know, I believe you almost have to call on this spot whether you like it or not.
Well, you're right, Mike. I think he is priced in, but it's the whole psychological dilemma. Do you want to go out of a WPT tournament with an ace-deuce?
You got me priced in.
He thinks he is. He's going to make the call. It's ace-jack versus ace-deuce.
Yeah, an ace.
A massive pot. Nearly $4.3 million in the pot.
Ace-deuce, man.
And Pat Walsh is going to have to get lucky to stay alive.
Come on, deuce.
Yep, and he is rooting on his deuce.
One suck out. I haven't sucked out yet.
The Midwest poker professional, Pat Walsh, in a lot of trouble right now.
And they probably wish he was from Minnesota right now, where it's the land of the lakes.
Come on, baby.
Because he needs a duck on the water here to stay alive.
Here comes the flop.
That's come 10, 10, 7.
There's 7 up there.
Well, now he's hollering for a 7. That would give him a split pot here. And certainly, when you have an ace-deuce, your opponent has an ace-jack, you would love to get a split pot and get your money back and say, whew, let me not do this again.
Of course, he'd love to spike the deuce. Here's 4-3.
Well, a 3 comes off, so we are down to the river.
Ben thought that was a deuce for a second.
Sick, dude.
Sigh of relief there.
Well, Pat needs a deuce to win the pot. He would get a split pot if a 7 or a 3 comes off. Any other card, and he's going to be out in 5th place.
The dream's still alive. It's coming down this card. Can he get lucky? No.
Well, the 5 of hearts comes off. That's going to do it for the pro out of St. Louis. Pat Walsh is going to finish in 5th place. Still gets a nice payday of over $310,000. So Pat Walsh picked the wrong time to make a move for all his dough.
Quite a gentleman, a big effort, but it is over for him. We are down to 4. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action on the World Poker Tour. Tonight's broadcast sponsored in part by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees.
The great thing about a poker tournament is that everyone starts with the same amount of chips. And from then on, it's all about how you use them. Are you ready for tournament poker? Learn for free at the world's largest poker site, PokerStars.net.
So he's going away with Avis. Again, he'll probably get the Where To GPS so he can find all his precious flavored coffees and driving ranges on his business trip. Fine. That's the way he wants it. Fine. Forget about him. You don't need him. Did he just look back? I think he looked back.
Where To GPS can find anything from a driving range to a latte. Just one more reason Avis is your other car.
All right, I got one too. My name is Mohammed Panjwani, and I'm from Houston, Texas. And I'm working for an engineering firm. We design oil refineries and a lot of procurement and civil work around the globe.
This is exactly what I wanted.
Before ITT Tech, I was working 2 jobs and still couldn't accomplish and didn't enjoy what I was doing. I was in customer service. That was okay, but that wasn't really my dream. I always felt something was missing.
He succeeded, and here we are today, and everything's just worked out wonderful.
That's what I tell him all the time. Be hardworking, be honest, sincere, and all your dreams will come true.
We are educators helping people build a foundation for the rest of their lives. ITT Technical Institute, education for the future. Call 1-800-942-0088 or visit us on the web. Get an education that can help you reach your goals. ITT Tech has information on financial aid for those who qualify. Call 1-800-942-0088.
When I hear my name announced, in seat 5, Mike Sowers. We're walking on stage. Probably gonna feel a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully once I sit down at the table, all that'll go away and we can just play poker. But until then, it'll be really nice just to get that 15 seconds of fame for just making a WPT final table.
Welcome back to the LA Poker Classic, and that is the online kid, Mike Sowers, now our chip leader with close to $5.8 million in chips.
In 2nd place, the Las Vegas Cash Game Pro, Ben Wynn, with about $5.3 million in chips. And in 3rd place, WPT champ Chris Karagoulian going for his 2nd title tonight.
Action on Cornell Simpan. He quickly folds. Chris Karagoulian with King-9, just calling.
Smaller.
And Mike Sowers says all in with an 8-7. Look at this pressure.
Chris Karagoulian limped in with a King-9 of clubs out of the small blind. Mike Sowers took advantage of his chip count and position, moved all in, and forced Chris out.
There's no money in the pot, man.
Now, in my view, Chris should have raised himself with the King-9 of clubs.
Should have made it 300, and I would have.
Chances are he's going to win the pot rather than lose it.
WPT champion Chris Karagoulian now is the short stack, a little over 1.3 million. This is getting interesting. And the Houston Bandit first to act here, Cornell Simpan. Got an ugly-looking 10-4, doesn't play that. And now Karagoulian also folding.
Well, we're around to the blinds. And this is the real battle of the blinds, folks, because these are the 2 massive chip leaders with 4 players left. The 22-year-old's going to raise it with ace-high, makes it $300,000 to go.
Into Ben Wynn, and he's got an attractive queen, jack of diamonds.
Certainly got one of those hands you want to see a flop with. He's got position on the youngster.
A raise.
But forget about calling to see a flop, Vince. He's coming right over the top. He's just going to tell this kid, look, you know, you're going to raise me, I'm going to raise you back. Don't mess with me. You want to fool the guy that's got a lot of chips? Okay, let's go.
He wants to just run over that cap and glasses. of Mike Sowers. It looks like an additional $600,000.
Nice raise, Ben.
Well, he said it exactly right. It was a very nice raise by Ben Wynn right there to take down that pot, to force Mike Sowers out of the hand.
I'm just glad you're sitting to my right, not my left.
Yeah.
Because it'd be the other way around, I know.
Ben is just saying, I like my position on you.
Come on now.
I want to rough you up. These guys are both happy because they're both the chip leaders at this point.
Yeah, I'd say you got the best position on the table.
Yeah, I do. I feel like I do. Actually, I know I do.
Blinds are still 50 to 100. Action going. The 22-year-old Mike. This time he looks down at the wired pair of threes here. Not bad in a four-handed poker game.
Well, he's going to raise it again, Vince. $250,000 this time.
Been out.
I'm all in.
Wow. Cornell Sempan is going all in with an ace-3 here.
Karagulian out with an ace-deuce of clubs.
Do you have another stack of green, or can I see them all?
I got 6.
Have 10-9 of diamonds
It's
again?
going to cost the 22-year-old about another $1.2 million to make this call.
With Mike's hand over his mouth now, it almost looks like some type of large bug. You know, you just see two eyes, just two.
You can't see his eyes. He's got the 99-cent sunglasses on and the 75-cent hat. But right now, it's about $1.2 million to him to make a call here.
Just the kind of disguise that you'd almost see a Michael Jackson wearing, you know. I don't know.
Fold.
Well, he's going to lay the threes down.
Yep.
Well, Cornell is going to show him a 3, and you can see that makes the youngster wince because he knows whatever that other card is.
Nice hand.
He was a big favorite to win that pot.
We're not the only ones gambling anymore.
With that pot, the antes are going up to 20,000.
I had 3s.
Jolly laugh. That was, and the blinds are going to be 60 and 120,000. Price of poker going up. Action going to the WPT champion, Chris Karagulian, going after his second title here tonight.
And Vince, I'll tell you, it looks like all these guys are going for that title and that first place prize. Nobody seems fearful about going out next. They're just trying to gather chips and take home the big bucks and the trophy.
Chris is folded, and the online kid, Mike Sowers, going to raise with a queen jack. 320,000 to go.
Vince, he's raised a couple pots in a row, and it's backfired on him.
Ben Wynn has mucked a king 10 awfully fast. Gets out of the way, and Cornell with a 9-8.
When you come over the top of somebody and get them to lay one hand down, if you try it the second time, they may get stubborn and call you here. Cost him $200,000 more to make the call here, and he's doing it. So we're going to have a flop. Cornell with the 9-8, Mike Sowers with the queen jack of clubs. Oh, it's come 9-5-5. Great flop for Cornell.
Check.
He's going to check.
Oh, but Mike is not going to bite. He checks as well. Turn card coming up.
Now a third 5 comes out there. So Cornell has a full house.
Check.
He has checked it. And Mike Sowers wisely checks right behind him again. River card jack of diamonds.
Check.
Cornell checks.
Boy, this is just horribly misplayed by Cornell Sempan.
Well, indeed it is. Now Mike bets $500,000 on the river. Can't imagine you're going to lay down 5s full of 9s here.
No, I can't either.
He's going to make the call.
Yeah.
Well, he is not going to like it.
Boy, look at that wince. He's hating himself right now, but he deserves to hate himself. Awfully played.
On the turn, you just can't give your opponent a free chance to catch an overcard that could beat you. That's exactly what happened, and it cost him.
He out-tricked himself there, and Mike Sowers is now, once again, the new chip leader. And right now it's on him again.
He folds.
Yep, Ben Wynn going out as well.
I'm all in.
So the battle of the blinds here, and Cornell Sempan moving all in here with the queen 8 of clubs.
I call.
Well, Chris Karagulian read him perfectly there. Made the all-in call with the ace-9 offsuit, and he is well out in front right now. He just suspected that Cornell, after losing that last pot, might be making a move with anything here. Called him with the ace-9. And as the cards lie, he's about a 3-2 favorite to double up here. And ace comes right on the flop. Well, it's come ace-queen 10.
A little justice for Karagulian, hitting the aces.
Well, Chris over a 3-1 favorite now to win this pot. Double up. and be in good shape to capture a second WPT title. Got to dodge a queen or an 8 or 2 running clubs. Oh, a queen comes right off on the turn. Vince, that is heartbreak at the moment for Chris Karagulian. Tough luck for the WPT champ.
Awful. That is as bad as it gets. I can't believe what we just saw. Just a brutal turn card.
Well, with 1 card to go, Chris must catch an ace to win this pot. A 7 comes off. Well, you see the celebration and ecstasy of Cornell Simpan and the deflation and dejection of Chris Karagulian.
Always a gentleman. Going to pick up $430,000, but he is out in 4th place.
This WPT champ will have to wait another day to capture his second WPT title.
We are down to 3 players at the Commerce Casino. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action on the World Poker Tour. Oh, boy.
Play on FullTiltPoker.net to win a trip to Las Vegas and a chance to appear on the new TV show, Face the Ace. It's your chance to play on national TV. Heads up against the best poker players in the world for a shot at $1 million. Free qualifying tournaments for Face the Ace are running now, only at FullTiltPoker.net.
What's your pit type? Sweaty? Hairy? Sensitive? Introducing the first line of customized protection, New Speed Stick Pro. What's your pit type?
One movie asks a big question.
Why can't we remember a thing from last night?
Where is Doug?
Am I missing a tooth? Whose baby is that?
Why were you in our trunk naked? What is going on?
The Hangover, rated R, starts June 5th.
Tee it up at Grand Sierra Resort and Casino in Reno, Nevada. Build your own golf package starting at $79 and play on one of 40 world-class courses in the Reno Tahoe area. You'll also get breakfast for 2 at the Lodge Buffet. After a day on the links, relax in one of our new lounges and enjoy an evening at Charlie Palmer, the ultimate Reno steakhouse. Just book online at GrandSierraResort.com or call the number below. Great packages, great golf, only at Grand Sierra Resort and Casino.
There is a big change with the weather, so let's toss it out to John at the ballpark and get the latest on the impact on tonight's game.
Almost perfect conditions for baseball, and yet we hear about this rapidly moving cold front. I'm starting to feel it right now, actually. It's freezing out here.
This summer, Coors Light introduces the new 12-ounce cold-activated can. When the mountains turn blue, your beer is as cold as the Rockies. Frost-brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
I love the LAPC because it brings players from all over the world to Commerce Casino. We're the largest poker casino in the world with over 243 tables. And there's more action here than any place in the world. This year's attendance at 696 entries. First prize will take home just over $1.6 million and a WPT title, which also includes the fame of winning an LA Poker Classic. Look at what it's done for Antonio the Magician, Gus Hansen, Michael Mizrahi, and Phil Ivey. I think you truly become a superstar after you win the LAPC.
We are back here at the LA Poker Classic. It is poker heaven here at the Commerce Casino.
Well, no question about it. We always have one of the biggest events on the World Poker Tour here at the LA Poker Classic. And Vince, obviously the cash games downstairs are the best in the world. Players love it here.
Right now we have 3 players going after $1.6 million.
Huge difference between first and third place, over $1 million in real money.
Action going to Ben Wynn. He's our chip leader. He has $5.8 million. And this time he has a Jack 3.
He is going to raise it. But right behind him, Cornell Simpan picks up an ace-queen.
I'm all in.
He's gone all in for $2.6 million.
He should.
3.6.
Online kid Mike Sowers with a pair of 5s.
I'm all in.
Says he's all in.
Well, Ben Wynn quickly folds his hand. Well, I can't believe this play by Mike Sowers. And I say that because the button raised, the small blind moved all in.
You never lose a race, don't worry.
You've just got 2 5s. The best you can be in is a race situation. But remember, the button could have still acted behind him when he went all in. He might have had a big hand. Let's see if it works out for him. Well, it's come ace 4 deuce. Cornell has taken the lead with 2 aces, but Mike Sowers can catch a 5, and a 3 would give him a straight.
Now Cornell, the Houston Bandit, out in front with the aces. Would love to double up.
Everybody on their feet.
4th Street coming right up.
Mega bucks on the line. Well, the king comes off on the turn. So we are down to the river. The 22-year-old must catch a 5 or a 3 to win this pot. Otherwise, Cornell is going to double up.
But the online kid getting chips out to pay him off already, it looks like. Doesn't like his chances. River card coming up.
Well, it's a deuce. So Cornell Simpan in ecstasy here.
Now, yeah, he is higher than Amy Winehouse in a hot air balloon, and he should be doubling up in a huge moment.
If Mike Sowers doesn't win this tournament, he'll look right back on this hand and say, you know, I should have thrown those 2 5s away. I don't like that play at all. I don't mind moving in with the small pair, but I don't like calling somebody who's moved in on top of you, especially when they came over the top of a razor already.
Well, Mikey's 22 years old. He might not even be thinking about that. Playing by guts alone. And this time in this hand, he's got a pair of 4s.
Well, the 2 5s burned him last time. Let's see what happens with the 4s.
He's going the button. And he's getting chips out to raise. Going to make it 300,000 to go. But this could be bad timing because Bin Win with a pair of queens. Just incredible.
Well, Vince, it's like Mike Sowers is getting punished for the way he played those 2 5s in the last hand.
Raise.
By the poker gods here.
And Ben says, I'm going to raise. Ben's parents in the house.
And let's see how much more he's going to bet. And it looks like he's going to make it a cool $1 million, meaning it's a $700,000 raise. Well, Cornell looks at nothing.
I'm rolling. Call.
Wow. And quickly, Mike Sowers goes all in again.
Well, the online kid played that awfully fast.
And this time, unfortunately, he's looking at an overpair. So it could be back-to-back disasters for the 22-year-old. He needs to catch a 4 here. Otherwise, it's tapioca pudding for him. Well, it's come Jack 9-8.
No luck for Mike Sowers on that flop.
Just a moment ago, he was our chip leader, Vince. Now he could be out in 3rd place unless he catches a 4. 2 running cards to make a straight would give him a split, but that doesn't happen as a jack comes off on the turn. We are down to the river. The 22-year-old pro that just recently had the chip lead is going to be out in 3rd place unless he can catch a 4 at the river.
Yep, they've been playing for 5 days. He's going after millions here, and now he has a 2-outer to stick around. He can't even look anymore. River card coming up.
Well, a king comes off. And Vince, I don't believe this hand is the hand you can really fault him on. But the one where he had the 2 5s where the button raised it, the small blind moved in. He didn't have to get involved in that pot. It cost him a lot of money. He's going to take home over $650,000, but still probably a disappointing 3rd. A great young player, but could learn from his mistakes tonight.
Mike Sowers out in 3rd place, $654,000. He has picked up. We are down to 2 players.
As is the custom on the World Poker Tour, when we get down to heads-up play, we have our money presentation. So show us the money!
Yeah. And out come the beautiful Commerce Casino girls with the huge amounts of cash. Look at this, Mike.
Oh, Vince, over $2.5 million they're putting on the table right now. Incredible money. And now out comes the customized WPT Tiffany bracelet that goes to the champion.
Well, the blinds are going up. The stakes are huge. 2 players going after $1.6 million. Stay tuned. We're coming back with the start of the heads-up action in just a moment.
A poker tournament is a mind game. It's about knowing when to change gears and sensing that sometimes you just need to get out of the way. Win 1 of 4 all expenses paid trips for 2 to Vegas to play poker against NHL players completely free. Only at the world's largest poker site, PokerStars.net.
Well, I married my dream girl, but she didn't tell me her credit was bad. So now instead of living in a pleasant suburb, we're living in the basement at her mom and dad's. No, we can't get a loan for a respectable home just because my girl defaulted on some old credit card. If we'd gone to freecreditreport.com, I'd be a happy bachelor with a dog and a yard.
Offer applies with enrollment and Triple Advantage.
The Emmy Award-winning Sports Science returns. The greatest athletes. The most outrageous experiments. Busting the biggest sports myths. And blowing your mind. Sports Science.
Eric Bedard returns to action as the Mariners and Angels face off in this series finale. Tonight at 6:30 on FSN and FSN HD.
Drives one to right field. It's gone, and the Mariners have taken a lead. Ichiro with his second consecutive home run.
This Mariners Shot of the Week is brought to you by BK Burger Shots. Available for a limited time only. Before the game.
We're excited about it.
Are we looking at another quick one tonight?
After the game.
So much to get to. Well, we came out swinging, that's for sure.
Every game. Mariners Live on FSN.
It's the best damn sports show, period, with superstar guests. Countless countdowns.
He did it!
The unbelievable moment. It's the best damn sports show, period. Tonight, check local listings.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We're into heads-up action. The blinds are going up to 125, 250,000. Ben Wynn, a tournament rookie, actually has the chip lead with 8.7 million. Cornell Simpan, the Houston Bandit, with 5.1 million. First-hand action's going to Cornell. He has an ace-5.
Just incredible stories here. This guy, Cornell Simpan, got in this tournament by winning a $1,000 satellite. Ben Wynn playing in his first ever $10,000 buy-in tournament. Vying heads up for this title. Incredible.
They both just called us, and the flop comes up ace, 10-4. Nice for Cornell, hitting the pair of aces.
Well, Cornell's got top pair. Ben's got bottom pair.
Yeah, Ben checked, and a bet now of 500,000 by Cornell. And Ben's not going anywhere. He's making this call. There's Irene, that is Ben's girlfriend. And the turn card will be, it's a queen, making queens and fours for Ben Wynn.
So Ben Wynn is now out in front with two pair. He checks it. That Cornell Simpan looks back to see what color his ace is. He does have the ace of spades, so he's got top pair in the nut flush draw and checks. And now the king of spade comes off. He's got the ace high flush. Well, action is on Ben Wynn. So Ben's two pairs just shrunk up considerably, but he must not think so because he's betting $500,000 here.
Into Cornell's cinch hand. He's got the ace of spades.
He looks back to make sure of it, Vince. That's a bit of a tell, wouldn't you think? Now, you know he's going to raise it. Yes, his opponent could have the 9-jack of spade and have a straight flush, but if he does, good luck to him. You're never throwing an ace-high flush away when there's no pair on the board. Well, he's going to raise it $1 million more. Well, Ben lays his hand down. So Cornell Simpan drawing first blood here in this heads-up battle.
Well, I'll tell you something. If Ben had bet on the turn like he was supposed to with his queens and fours,
the worst royal card you could put out.
You know, the money would have been all in, and that would have been a huge double up for Cornell because he's not going anywhere with aces and a 4 flush.
Well, Vince, he could have saved $500,000 by not betting on the river.
Well, he's taking a shot. The guy doesn't have a spade. That's the style he kind of plays. All right, right back at him on Ben Wynn.
Picks up a nice hand here. Got a pair of 10s.
Quality hand. And he's getting the chips out.
575.
575,000 is the bet.
And the Houston Bandit Cornell He says all in with an ace-4 hearts.
Well, he's quickly been called by Ben Wynn. And, folks, this could do it. Ben Wynn has him covered in chips. If his 2-10 stand up, he'll be the LA Poker Classic champion, winning in the first ever WPT event he's ever played in, Vince. What a story that is.
So what do you think is going to be the flop? 10 of hearts?
Let's make it interesting. 10 of hearts and 9 of hearts. How about that? Make it interesting.
Make it interesting. Cornell's got the ace-4 hearts. Over $700,000 in real money, the difference between first and second place.
Did Cornell get out of line?
Ace high is a good hand, heads up as well, but right now he's beat. He needs some help. Let's see if he can get it. Well, a great flop for Ben Wynn. His 2-10s well out in front as it comes 8-6-4. Cornell's paired the bottom card. Right now he's got to catch a 4, an ace, or 2 running hearts to make a flush to win this pot. He said destiny was on his side. He felt to win this tournament. Well, he's going to need a lot of destiny to win this pot, Vince. Well, he might get it. 8 of hearts comes up on the turn.
That gives a 4 flush, though, to Cornell Simpan.
That's what I'm talking about. He can now catch a 4, an ace, or a heart. All of those cards will win it unless it's a 10 of hearts, of course, which would give Ben Wynn 10s full.
If Cornell doesn't get lucky, though, Ben Wynn, 30 years old, will become a new WPT champion, a millionaire on the World Poker Tour. Can he get this card?
He's got a dodge an ace-4 heart. Oh! Absolute devastation.
It's just not supposed to happen that way.
Wow, well, Vince, perhaps destiny is on this guy's side as he hits running hearts to make a flush to stay alive.
Ben Wynn beside himself, pain and loathing in the Commerce Casino. Stay tuned, we're coming back with more action on the World Poker Tour.
Tonight's World Poker Tour brought to you by FullTiltPoker.net.
Poker has been called a gentleman's game, a boys' club, a male-dominated sport. Definitely no place for a woman.
And that's just fine by me. We play at FullTiltPoker.net.
Master the great outdoors, the pros choose Husqvarna for exceptional power and performance, precision, and amazing control. Master your great outdoors with the same power and performance demanded by the pros. Husqvarna, professionally proven outdoor power equipment. Test drive a Husqvarna at your servicing dealer during spring demo days.
Can you work late this week?
Sure.
Okay.
No can do. No, Monday is seafood extravaganza. And Tuesday's Applewood Grill.
And Wednesday?
Hickory Bourbon Grill. All for about $10.
You got a lot on your plate.
I don't now, but I will.
Enjoy Golden Corral's 7-day dinner cruise featuring signature steak, seafood, and chicken. Help yourself to a different dinner theme every night. All on our endless buffet, all for around $10.
Oh, honey, do you have to work this weekend?
Oh, no way. Saturday's beef lovers night.
Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness.
Love burgers but hate the grease? Then you'll love Arby's new Bacon Cheddar Roast Burger. Made with oven-roasted, freshly sliced roast beef and topped with cheddar cheese and thick-cut pepper bacon on a toasted roll. Arby's new Bacon Cheddar Roast Burger. It's the burger done better. Big on taste, not on grease. Try one today with any one of our freshly brewed iced fruit teas. Arby's new Bacon Cheddar Roast Burger. One bite will have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. It's heads up, $1.6 million to the winner.
Massive money here tonight.
We have seen a lot of drama and a lot of drawouts at this final table in the LA Poker Classic, no doubt about it. The tournament's still up for grabs. 2 guys left fighting it out.
Yep, and the Houston Bandit, Cornell Simpan with about $12 million, and Ben Wynn down to $1.2 million.
Well, just took that devastating blow a moment ago where he'd won the trophy and the title.
Come on, man.
I call.
Here he moves all in with a Jack-9 of hearts.
I haven't looked yet.
Cornell has called in the dark, and that's a $1 million call here. He's got a 6-deuce offsuit. Vince, you just wonder, would the guy put another $1 million in there if he'd have peeked at his cards here instead of stacking up his chips?
It's so sick, man.
Well, he plays by his intuition, his destiny, and right now, is he right? Horrible starting hand, but you never know with this guy.
I would have mucked it and saved the million, but let's see if it works out for him.
He's exuding confidence. Could this be the one that takes home a title? There's the flop.
Well, it's come 9-4-4, so now he's going to have to catch 2 running cards to win this pot, as Ben Wynn has flopped 9s and 4s.
And he looks